Whitehall 1212.
This is Scotland Yard.
For the first time in history, Scotland Yard opens its official files to bring you the true stories of some of its most baffling cases.
These are the true stories. The plain, unvarnished facts, just as they occurred, reenacted for you by an all-British cast. Only the names of the participants have for obvious reasons been changed. The stories are presented with the full cooperation of Scotland Yard.
Research on Whitehall 1212 is compiled through arrangement with Percy Hoskins, chief crime reporter of the London Daily Express. The stories for radio are written and directed by Willis Cooper. Chief Superintendent John Davidson is the curator of the famous Black Museum of Scotland Yard. He will brief you on today's case from the official files of Scotland Yard, number 899MR952.
Good afternoon. If you're a murderer by trade, I would suggest that there is no surer way to hasten the end of your career than to select a policeman as your victim. Now, this thing is the running board of a motor car. It was concerned in the brutal death by violence of a police constable. Now, Chief Inspector Quentin Tabsit of Scotland Yard knows more about this case than any other person.
I think that's true, John. Although there were two other men who knew more about it than I.
But they're not living.
No, they're not. Comparatively few men survive hanging. The Chief Constable of Essex telephoned the CID from Romford at 9:05 on the morning of Tuesday, September the 27th, asking that officers be sent to Stapleford Abbots, a village halfway between Romford and Ongar on the London-Chelmsford Road. I was first on the Chief Inspector's rota, so I was assigned to the case. Accompanied by Detective Sergeant Philip Melanchthon Wise, I went at once to Stapleford Abbots, which is about 4 miles outside the limits of the Metropolitan Police area. I was shown the body of Police Constable William George Greenley, who had been stationed there and which had been found alongside the road a few miles from the village at 6:30 that morning, the 27th. The constable explained to Wise and me what had happened.
We know it happened sometime after 1:30 a.m., Chief Inspector, because I met him at a conference point at that time.
Where, Constable?
Near Grove House, on the road to Ongar, about 600 yards from where the body was found, sir.
Go on.
He'd been shot 4 times, sir. Twice through the head and these other 2.
That's...
Yes, sir. They shot the poor chap square in each eye.
Horrible.
I hope they drown in their own blood, sir.
At least they'll hang.
Bill Greenley and I was kids together, sir.
They'll hang.
He had his pencil in his hand, sir. His notebook was lying on the road near him. He'd evidently stopped a car and was talking to them.
Marks on the road?
I'll show you, sir. It isn't far. I'd rather like to get out of here.
Wise and I followed the constable along the road to a spot where it had been cut to a small hill. The banks on either side at the edge of the road shoulders were about 6 feet high.
That's the place, sir. Here's where they found him, sir, where the grass is pressed down.
Little blood here.
Not as much as one would expect, sir. Over there on the other side, you see there's quite a bloodstain on the grass. Well, we think he was first shot there, and then he dragged himself across the road and he shot his eyes out on this side.
Yeah. There was a motor car here, all right?
Yes, sir, we saw that.
Where's my sergeant, Sergeant Wise?
Down the road a bit, sir. Back there.
Oh, yes. What are you looking at, Sergeant?
Come down here, sir.
Come along. What?
That car was going pretty fast. See here.
Skidded off the road, didn't it?
When he flagged it down, no doubt.
See, it skidded through the grass on this side. Tire marks where it stopped.
Going toward London, wasn't it?
No doubt about that, sir, from the marks.
Was there anything written in Constable Greenley's notebook that would give us any idea?
Nothing, sir, after the notation about meeting me at Grove House at 1:30.
Much traffic through here, Constable?
Not much, sir.
This chap was certainly going pretty fast.
Especially on a twisty road like this one, I'd say.
Many fast drivers around here?
No, sir, none I know of.
Stranger then, probably.
Except he must have known these twisty roads pretty well, sir.
Which puts us right back where we started, doesn't it?
Well, he had a good reason for wanting to.
What'd you say, Wise?
I said either that, sir, or he had a good reason for wanting to get back to London in a great hurry.
Now, why would a stranger take the chance of breaking his neck by driving this kind of a road at 40 miles an hour? He's going at least that fast along here by the tire marks.
And why should he murder a policeman who stopped him?
What do you think, Sergeant Wise?
Well, what we need to look for is some crook running away from something. Running back to London to hide.
It's a pretty shrewd guess, Wise.
Oh, I think so myself, sir. But what was he running from?
Well,
I wonder if that was a stolen car he was running away with, sir.
At the tiny police station back in Stapleford Abbots, I asked to have someone remove the bullets from the body of Constable Greenley. A local surgeon volunteered to do it for us for the usual fee provided by the Home Office. After some difficulty, I was put through to Whitehall 1212 in London. I asked for Inspector Bailey.
Inspector Bailey speaking.
Hello, Pat. Tabsit here.
What are you up to, Crenton?
Need to know something, old boy. Got any reports of a car stolen last night in this part of the country?
What part of the country are you in?
Oh, Stapleford Abbots, Essex, I'm sorry.
I have to look it up. Where shall I call you?
Well, I'm at the police station in Stapleford Abbots. Ring me back as soon as you can, will you, please?
Right. 10 minutes.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank
Well, what do you think, Wise?
Oh, it isn't a bad guess, sir. We'll see. By the way, I had a look at those powder stains on the face of the dead chap.
Oh?
Had a smell, too. They're from black powder. Old-fashioned black powder, not modern nitrocellulose. That'll be something else to check on if we do find anybody. If he has a gun that shoots black powder cartridges...
Right. Good.
Excuse me, sir, there's a telephone call for you, sir.
Who is it, Constable?
London, sir. You can take it on that same phone you were using, sir.
Oh, thanks. Don't go away. Chief Inspector Tabsit here.
It's Bailey here, Chief Inspector. You used second sight or something up there.
What?
Well, the first item on my list of stolen cars for last night is a four-seater Morris Cowley touring car. Painted blue, index marked TW6120. Stolen at about 2:30 a.m. from the garage of Dr. Kelm Haggerty of Billericay. Guess you don't know the names 12 miles east of where you are.
Just a second. Blue Morris Cowley, four-seater, TW6130.
No, 6120.
Right, TW6120. Dr. Kenelm Haggerty, Billericay, about 2:30 a.m. Thanks, old boy. Do as much for you one day. Bye.
Bye.
Well, that might be our car, gentlemen.
All we have to do now is find it, sir. If it is.
We'll find it, Wise.
I hope so.
Now, look, Wise. This car was taken from Billericay at about 2:30 a.m. What I want you to do is to get around the countryside between here and Billericay and talk to people.
Yes, sir.
I want you to find out if any of the people around here happen to hear a car driving at high speed sometime between 2:30 when it was stolen and 6:30 when they found the constable's body.
Yes, sir.
We'll accomplish two things, you see. A, whether that's the car we want, and B, by plotting on a map when and where it was heard, its probable destination. You see?
Right you are, sir.
You see?
Oh, certainly, sir.
You said there's not much traffic in these parts, Constable.
There isn't, sir. Somebody will be sure to have heard it.
Well, let's get cracking then.
Yes,
What?
sir. Where will you be?
I'll be back at the yard. I'm going to check up on known motorcar thieves. I'll be in touch with you. Good luck, boys.
Thank you, sir. Come on, Constable.
I returned to my office at Scotland Yard. Before setting in motion our machinery for checking the whereabouts of known criminals who were at liberty, I dispatched Emmons Carlson, an expert on motorcar tires, to Stapleford Abbots to see if he could identify the tire prints the motor car had left on the road. He'd hardly left London when I had a telephone call from Sergeant Wise.
We've already had some good luck, sir. A farmer 4 miles this side of Bellericki heard a car traveling at high speed at 2:40 in the morning, and a widow, a mile and a half further along, heard it. She thinks at 2:45 or thereabouts. She says it sounded like a Morris Cowley, like her own car, sir.
Better and better, I thought. A little later, reports began coming into me on the known criminals who had been checked in London. 14 had already produced alibis. One, a smash-and-grab artist who had dabbled in motor cars, a chap named Whitey Wogan, was having difficulty proving his. The search went on. Information on the stolen Morris Cowley, identification number TW6120, was given general circulation. There were no results. 3 reports the next day from Sergeant Wise.
One from a retired colonel of the Cherubim, sir. 5 miles east of Ongar. Heard a car at 3:15 a.m. One from an apothecary at Ongar. 5 minutes later. One from 2 men returning from a British Legion meeting at about 3:30. Say they were almost run down by a blue Morris Cowley a few miles south of Ongar. They didn't see the number.
26 more people with criminal records were checked. All had alibis. Whitey Wogan still refused to talk. Emmons Carlson reported him from Stapleford Abbots.
Here it is, sir, on the chart. I made these photographs on the spot. You see? Pretty blurred they are, sir, but you can identify them. Now here, on the chart, type B, 1/32, or 1/23, if you like.
Mm-hmm.
4 parallel lines round the circumference of the tire. Diagonal lines at the edges of the tire.
Mm-hmm.
Short diagonals the other direction, in the center. Oblique parallelograms, you might say. Can't be anything but a Dunlop Fortuner tire.
Does that do us any good, Carlson?
I telephoned Dr. Kenelm Haggerty, sir, at Billericay. The stolen car was equipped with Dunlop Fortuners.
No doubt now that was the murder car. Another report from Sergeant Wise placed the car 5 miles north of where the constable was murdered at 3:30 a.m., still headed south. I ticked off the reports on a map of the area. It was a circuitous route, but there was no doubt of it. The car was headed for London. But then the trail was lost. A report from Percy Young in the ballistics laboratory.
About those bullets taken from the body of the constable who was shot near Stapleford Abbots, Chief Inspector.
Yes, Percy, what did you find out?
They're all from a Webley 38 caliber revolver. Seems to me, I should say, somewhat obsolete manufacture, but I'm not sure of that.
You could identify the particular gun they were fired from if we got hold of it, could you, Percy?
Of course. Bet you did.
Unfortunately, I haven't got it, Percy. Unfortunately, I haven't got anything. Unfortunately, all I've got is the knowledge of the car the murderer rode in. And the fact that the car is probably somewhere in London. With the murderer, I hope. Unfortunately, I have no idea who he is. Yet. But we'll find out. You can't murder a policeman and get away with it. I'll bring you the gun sooner or later. Sergeant Wise came in.
Afternoon, sir.
Hello, Wise.
Got some news for you.
Good. What?
They found the car.
They have? Why didn't they tell me?
Your telephone was busy, sir.
Ah. Brixton.
Been there all night, apparently, they said.
Sure it's the car?
Blue Morris Cowley, 4-seater, number TW2160.
Mm-hmm.
Fingerprint people and all are there now. Looking it over.
Brixton, you said?
Brixton, yes, sir.
That's where Whitey Wogan lives.
Who, sir?
Car thief.
Oh.
Won't tell us where he was the night of the murder.
Shall I bring him in, sir?
Better. I'll go and have a look at the car first, though. Here's his address. See you later there.
Right.
Could be possible, I thought, as I drove over to Brixton in the police car. We'd see. They were going over the Morris Cowley with a fine-tooth comb as I arrived. They hadn't found much, according to the sergeant in charge.
Nothing very much, sir. Let's see that list, Thackeray. Ah. Drops of what appears to be blood on right-hand running board, sir.
You collected them?
All right, sir. Laboratory's got them already, sir. Bits of grass and daubs of clay on the edge of the same running board.
We'll want that to compare with clay from the spot where the constable was murdered, Sergeant.
See to it, Thackeray. Oh, yes, and between the cushions of the front seat, this revolver cartridge, sir.
What kind is it?
Obsolete type, sir, for a Webley 38, but the issue of this kind of black powder cartridge was discontinued in 1913, sir. I'm quite an expert on firearms, sir.
Good. That's just the kind we were looking for, Sergeant.
I'm very happy, sir.
That all? What about fingerprints?
Not a sign of one so far, sir. Still looking, sir, but so far clean as a Coldstreamer's boots, sir. And who might you be, miss?
My name's Miss Winnie Clapsaddle, mister. And I'm here because I come with a sergeant, so don't give me none of your back chatter or dot you one over the ear roll like I done him.
Oh, don't
open your fly trap to the cops, Whitey dear.
What's going on here?
Excuse me, Chief Inspector.
Oh, it's you, Sergeant Wise. What?
Excuse me, sir. This is Whitey Wogan.
Don't say a word, Whitey.
And, who are you, please, miss?
I'm his sweetheart. I'm the barmaid at the Saracens Head Public House, and I'll thank you for none of your back chat neither, mister.
Now, look here.
She insisted on coming along, sir, when I picked up Wogan here.
And I'll do the talking, too.
Perhaps you can tell us, then, young woman, why your sweetheart is in possession of all those newspaper cuttings referring to this murder case.
Be still, Whitey Duck. He's in possession of these here blinking newspaper cuttings because he wants to find out what it is you coppers is badgering him for. The poor lamb.
Oh. And the blood-stained bandages I found in your room, Wogan?
Don't blush, Whitey dear. It happens to anyone.
What are you talking about?
Hold your temper, Whitey love. I'll tell you why they're there, and I'll tell you why my poor little Whitey don't want to tell you where he was while this murder was going on. It's because I hit him over the noggin with a Guinness bottle when he refused to kiss me in public. And it took 2 constables to drag us to the police station. That's why.
Is this true, Wogan?
Of course it's true. And you can prove it by looking at the police charge sheet for that last night when we was both in the clink for disturbing the peace. He never murdered no one, mister. He's just plain embarrassed.
It was true. Our only suspect had been nursing a broken crown in jail, which his 13-stone sweetheart had inflicted on him. We were at a dead end. The evidence had run out. Here was the murder car. Here was the victim's blood. The forensic laboratory established that the stains were of the same blood type as Constable Greenlee's. We had a cartridge which we were certain was from the murder gun. Scotland Yard had traced everything but the murderer himself. The coroner's inquest on the body of Constable William George Greenlee returned a verdict of death at the hands of person or persons unknown. He was buried with full police honors, and the bugler sounded the last post at his funeral because he had once been a soldier. The Home Office began paying his wife her pension. We kept on. We questioned more than 1,500 persons who might conceivably have committed the murder. Our man was not among them. But he was still at large. No policeman ever forgets the murder of another policeman. The months went on, and Wise and I were assigned to other cases. One day, almost a year later, Wise came into my office. Hello, Wise.
Hello, Chief Inspector.
What's up?
You ever had a hunch?
I never had a good one.
Yes.
You have had, though.
I have one now.
Forget it. What's it about, Wise?
Well, I was reading in the Police Gazette about a case. A very unimportant case in Sheffield the other day. It was quite interesting.
Don't be so bloody mysterious, ma'am. What was it?
A lorry driver had some trouble with a reckless driver. The driver shot down a side street and disappeared.
Yes?
I said it was a hunch, sir.
Go ahead. I've already got this report together.
This lorry driver noted down the number of the car.
Well, what?
It was a stolen car.
Thinking about that poor blighter that was murdered, the Essex constable.
I haven't forgotten how somebody shot that poor chap's eyes out, Chief Inspector.
Neither have I, Philip. Go on.
Well, they picked up the driver of the stolen car, and this chap told them who he bought the stolen car from.
Who?
Got it from a garage man in London here named Frederick Guy Sears.
Sears? Name means nothing to me.
Yeah, it didn't to me at first. But out of habit, I expect, I looked him up a little. He has a record. He's been sent down twice.
Have the Sheffield police picked him up?
No, they can't find him.
Oh. What's your hunch?
Well, he's a car thief.
Apparently.
He was in the Royal Engineers, and...
Well, that's no crime, so was I.
Yes, but you didn't steal a .38 Webley revolver, old boy.
Did he?
So I hear, Chief Inspector, that boy in Essex was shot with a .38 caliber Webley. We still have those bullets they took out of his head?
Mm-hmm.
Then they could tell us if they came from that gun.
If we find the gun.
Let's go and look for it.
Well, I don't know.
That doctor's case of instruments that was in the Morris Collie, they were never found either.
Right.
They might be at his garage, too.
Hasn't anybody been in that garage looking for him?
No, I know the sergeant who was there. He didn't look around very carefully. I think I could get a warrant of search.
You said the man was missing.
I know where he is.
Where?
Dartmoor.
In prison?
No. A friend of his is being released after a 3-year term. He went up to welcome him out of prison.
Coming back to London?
Today.
You seem awfully anxious to find this fellow, Wise.
I hate a cop killer, Chief Inspector. Don't you?
Get your search warrant. The garage was closed, of course, but we got inside all right. I doubt anyone saw us. It was a relatively empty place. One big, concrete-floored room and a desk in one corner behind a wooden railing. A few tool shelves along one wall. Filing cabinets or two alongside the desk. We walked across the floor first.
Not much of an office.
Let's have a look in the desk drawers.
Right. Empty.
This one's empty, too.
This too.
Try 'em all.
Doesn't he keep anything here?
Pretty careful man. Nothing incriminating for anybody to find.
He must keep some papers here or something. What's in here, I wonder?
Cabinet. Open it.
It's locked.
Open it.
There a pinch bar?
Here on the wall.
That ought to do.
Anything interesting?
Alarm clock. Wrenches. What's he want to hide this stuff for?
Because it locks up, I guess. Doesn't trust his friends.
Suppose so. Look here.
What is it?
One of those gadgets a doctor puts in his ears and listens to your heart with.
Stethoscope. What else?
Oh, I dropped it.
What is it?
There's 2 or 3 of them. Look like... That's what they are.
What do you mean?
My hunch was right. These are doctor's instruments.
What was that doctor's name, the one that owned the car?
Kenelm Haggerty.
You've got a good memory.
Oh, not so good. It's stamped right here on the handle of this lancet or whatever it is.
Well, indeed. Now, all we have to do is find that Webley revolver, and somebody's going to hang.
Well, this cabinet's empty.
Wonder about those tool shelves.
Have to look, I expect. Hope he doesn't walk in on us before we...
Speak of the devil, old boy.
What?
Somebody's coming.
There's only this one door.
Get on that side. I'll take this one.
Right, sir. See anybody?
Big husky chap coming.
Alone?
Seems to be.
What do you want me to do, sir?
Pick up that spanner there and tap him gently on the sconce if he leaps on me.
Right, sir.
If you have to hit him, be careful. We'll want to save him for the hangman, you know.
If he's the right one.
If he isn't, he'll do till the right one comes along. Are you Frederick Guy Sears?
Who the devil are you?
I'm Chief Inspector Tabbs of the Scotland Yard, and I arrest you on...
Look out, he's got a revolver.
You! Look out! Drop that. Get off my neck! Get off!
Are you hurt, sir?
Get off my neck!
That one did it.
Is he out cold?
Doesn't seem to be, sir.
Right. Well, in that case, I
Get off me.
arrest you on suspicion of the murder of Constable William George Green.
All right, sir.
I warn you that anything you say will be taken down in writing. Maybe using evidence. You got the gun, Wise?
Have a look at it, sir. It's what we're looking for. A Webley 38 revolver. And unless I'm much mistaken, these are old-fashioned black powder cartridges. Come along with us, Mr. Sears. There's a man that wants to see you.
He was the man. He and an accomplice whom we found easily from the directions Sears gave us had murdered Constable Greenley. You wonder at the brutality of shooting out his eyes. Sears told us why.
I heard the picture of the last thing a man sees before he dies stays right on his eyeballs. I was the last thing he seen, but he didn't have any eyeballs left when I got done with him.
Sears and his accomplice were tried at Old Bailey a year and a month after they'd committed the murder. They were both hanged. One at Pentonville and one at Wandsworth. Same day.
Heard today on Whitehall 1212 were Harvey Hayes, Horace Braham, Lester Fletcher, Guy Spall, Winston Ross, Peter Forrester, Maurice Gosfield, and Beulah Garrick. Whitehall 1212 is written and directed by Willis Cooper. If you were offered odds of 4 to 50, you'd think they were pretty poor, wouldn't you? Well, then just imagine how hopeless a person suffering from cerebral palsy must feel. His chances of getting any kind of treatment are exactly that, 4 out of 50. Well, you say to yourself, why? Why is that? Because it takes money to train the needed specialists, to build and equip the necessary treatment centers, to solve the mysteries of this baffling condition. Although many of the 550,000 sufferers from cerebral palsy are virtually helpless, their cause isn't helpless. No, that's where you come in. They can be helped by accurate diagnosis, by accurate treatment and loving care. Make it possible for them to become useful, productive citizens. They have the will. You can help provide the way. Enlist today in this fight. Send your contributions to United Cerebral Palsy in care of your local postmaster. Forget them not. This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Whitehall 1212.
Yard.
For the first time in history, Scotland Yard opens its official files to bring you the authentic, true stories of some of its most baffling cases.
These are the true stories, the plain, unvarnished facts just as they occurred, reenacted for you by an all-British cast. Only the names of the participants have for obvious reasons been changed. The stories are presented with the full cooperation of Scotland Yard.
Research on Whitehall 1212 is furnished through Percy Hoskins at the London Daily Express. The stories for radio are written and directed by Willis Cooper. Listen now to Chief Superintendent John Davidson, curator of Scotland Yard's famous Black Museum, for a briefing on case number 270809.
Good afternoon. I hope you don't think that we're mere souvenir collectors here in the Black Museum. We do collect articles that have figured in many of the crimes we have solved. But we have better reasons for doing so than the morbid satisfaction of gloating over them. They form a kind of criminal compendium, not of how to do murder, but how murder has been done. And the items we have on our shelves here fall into several categories. Illustrations of motives, demonstrations of methods and means, and examples of the mistakes that caused the murderer's arrest and punishment. Of course, we have these souvenirs from other types of cases, but the reputation of the Black Museum rests largely upon the predilection of the human race for violent and unlawful death. If you're contemplating this oldest of crimes, bear in mind the fact that here at Scotland Yard, we have thousands of reminders of the hopelessness of it. And change your mind before the hangman says to you, "Stand here, please," as he did to the man who owned this dark gray shirt. Yes, that's blood on it. Some of it is his. Chief Inspector Eric Lincoln solved that case, number 270809. I'll ask him to take over.
John, you're always quoting a verse from the Bible about the wicked fleeing when no man pursueth.
Proverbs 28th chapter, 1st verse.
And what happens when the wicked stand still and all men pursue it?
You can't pursue a man that's standing still, Eric.
But when he joins the pursuit, he stumbles over the last man in the race, John.
Who's the last man?
The hangman. Francesca Nicholson had been missing nearly a week when Peter St. John, of a well-known London evening newspaper, laid the packet of photographs on my desk.
She's not particularly pretty, is she?
She was not particularly pretty. Too tall.
5'9½".
Wears eyeglasses.
You tell me her eyes are blue and quite pretty. Like a gazelle's, this fella said. I never seen a gazelle.
Gazelles have brown eyes. Quite prominent teeth.
Like a horse's, aren't they?
Well,
You think she'd not be too hard to find?
I should say so.
Well, they haven't found her.
What's her name, Nicholson?
Nicholson, yes, sir. Francesca Nicholson. Lived with her mother in Kensal Rise. Had her hair done one day, put on a new dress, packed a small attaché case, and bunged off. Not to return.
I can read, Peter.
Oh, sorry.
How old is she?
26. It says there.
Sorry.
Quite all right, huh?
Been rowing with her mother?
Me?
The girl, fool.
Mother assured me that they were on the best of terms.
Maybe Mother was telling a whopper. Maybe Mother beat her.
Don't think so, sir. Neighbors on Kensal Rise say they're pretty pals here.
The girl have any enemies?
None discernible, sir.
Boyfriend?
One, the cove that discussed Gazelle's eyes.
What's he like?
I don't think he bathes often enough. 2 front teeth missing, no eyebrows, dirty blonde hair, no great toe on his left foot.
How do you know about his toes?
He told me about him in detail.
Where's he live?
Crowborough, Sussex. Raises chickens down there. Lives in a sort of hut.
The chickens?
chickens live in a much nicer place than he does, sir.
What's his opinion?
He's sure the Mormons have got her.
Mormons?
That's what the silly blighter said.
Mormons don't kidnap people.
I suggested that, so he changed his mind. Said she might have had a nerve storm and wandered onto the moors and perished.
What moors?
Just moors in the middle of her nerve storm.
Nerve storm? Is the man crazy?
Well, as our American cousins say, I think he has a button or two missing. Seriously, though, he's frightfully upset about her disappearance. Tried to be helpful. That's where I got these photographs.
How did he find out she was missing? You tell him?
No, that's where she was headed for when she left home.
Crowborough?
Crowborough and the chicken farm.
Why?
We've been engaged for 4 years.
Engaged to be married?
Quite. I don't know about her except what I hear, but he's genuinely in love with her. Tears as big as small hen's eggs appear every time he mentions her.
Poor blighter. Well, did she go to visit him often?
Oh, every few months, apparently. He used to stay with a family named Powers. The chicken farm's a mile or two outside the town.
These Powers people, do they know anything about all this?
They're quite mystified. They were expecting her, but she didn't show up. This boyfriend...
What's his name?
Tufty. Norman Tufty. He came into the Powers to greet her, and there she wasn't.
Then he reported her missing?
Not for 3 days. Hard to telegraph from Crowborough, I suppose, or hadn't the money or something. But he wrote a postcard to her mother. Quite worried.
You see the postcard?
And there it is. Right there beside the photograph.
Oh, yes. My own darling Francesca, where did you get to Saturday? I went to meet you, but did not turn up. I suppose you were detained unexpectedly for some reason. What's that word?
Devotedly, I think.
Devotedly Norman. Doesn't seem very devoted.
British understatement, old boy.
And when did he call the police? The same day?
He didn't call the police himself.
Oh, he didn't?
It was the Powers. Mrs. Powers, who seems to be very nice, talked to a constable of the Sussex police she knows, and he came round to the chicken farm.
I mean, this devoted Norman didn't even do that much?
Oh, he told me he was going to walk into the police station and tell them himself as soon as he'd finished feeding the chickens.
Suppose he really would have, Peter?
Constable told me that our boy, chicken fancier, was quite annoyed when he called. Spoke quite sharply about people who stuck their long noses in his business.
Aha, said the chief inspector.
I twirled my moustache, too, when I heard that.
Go on.
Well, Mrs. Powers told me that Mr. Tufty came roaring in from the chicken farm, full of reproaches for her, because she told the constable that Miss Francesca was missing.
This thing's beginning to smell quite fruity, isn't it?
He called Mrs. Powers certain unpleasant names. He owled, the lady said, like a hape. Mr. Powers heard the altercation and came up, threatening to dot him one, and Norman left in a towering but ineffectual rage. He's a little bit of a chap.
The fruity odor increases.
Till presently suffused the entire room. I called on Mr. Norman Tufty again to ask him a few civil questions. Mr. Tufty was out. I must have inadvertently snooped a bit in his absence.
Reprehensible.
I think so. In the course of my inadvertent snooping, I found this in the cupboard.
Let's see it. Envelope addressed to Norman Tufty, Esquire, the Chicken Ranch. Near Crowborough, Sussex. So what?
Have a look at the return address, Chief Inspector.
Mrs. Norman Tufty. Might be his mother, old boy.
He's an orphan. Smell anything now?
After receiving permission from the Sussex Chief Constable, I went to Crowborough and Peter St. John with me. I found a small room at the local hotel, the Pied Merlin, whilst Peter took the other one. After breakfast the next morning, the worst I ever ate in my life, we tramped out to the chicken farm. Mr. Norman Tufty kicked at a hungry hen who was investigating the contents of a peat-green biscuit near the door of the hut and walked towards us. Peter St. John hadn't exaggerated when he spoke of Tufty's disregard for baths. He reminded me of a crafty pig. He smiled an unpleasant, gap-toothed smile at Peter.
Oh-ho!
Oh-ho, Mr. Tufty.
The journalist fella.
You remember me?
Snooper.
Asking questions.
May I present...
I don't want to know no more of your ilk, mister. What do you want now?
I was interested in what you might have heard of your fiancée, Mr. Tufty.
Think I murdered her?
Just trying to pick up any news.
Well, I haven't heard anything, mister.
No news at all?
Give you a spot of news for half a crown.
Done. What's the news?
I killed her.
Oh, did you?
Killed her dead. Buried her, too.
Where, Mr. Tufty?
See where that old black hand's scratching?
There by the old tree stump?
Ah, that's the place. Dug a hole and buried her deep.
Well, tell me how you killed her, Mr. Tufty.
Hit her over the head with the axe. She didn't half bleed.
That her blood on your shirt, Mr. Tufty?
Who's this fella?
This, Mr. Tufty, is Chief Inspector Lincoln of Scotland Yard.
Well, blimey. That's given out as good as you get. That's rich, that is. Chief Inspector of Scotland Yard.
That is funny, isn't it?
You're a funny blatter, St. John. Chief Inspector of Scotland Yard, that's good. Say, who are you? Another one of those journalist chaps or what?
As a matter of fact, sir, I am Chief Inspector Lincoln of Scotland Yard.
But I'm all right, man. Even talks like a Scotland Yard bloke right out of the cinema.
And here's my card.
You're not going to arrest me, are you, sir? This is an awful thing, sir. Me making a fool of myself this way. I thought you was joking, too.
It wasn't a very good joke, Mr. Tufty.
Well, I hardly know what to say, sir. I know it was a terrible thing to say. And my poor darling Francesca missing like this.
I'm surprised you can make jokes at all.
I'm not ashamed of myself, Mr. St. John. And you too, Chief Inspector Lincoln, sir. Making such jokes about my poor darling Francesca. But nobody knows if she's laying dead in the fields or held prisoner by a band of white slavers.
Oh, come, Tufty.
Scotland Yard will find her, Tufty.
Oh, I don't think so.
Of course we will.
Oh, do find my darling Chief Inspector. Go out and search the highways and the byways and bring her safe back to me side. Maybe she's run down by some hit-and-run driver and lost her memory.
Calm yourself, Mr. Tufty.
Oh, put a sock in it. Hold your tongue, you nasty sod, you.
Look here, Oaf, you hold your own filthy tongue and I'll stuff it down your throat, you...
Stop him! Stop him, Chief Inspector. He'll murder me. He'll kill me.
Go ahead, Peter.
Sorry.
Stop him, Chief Inspector.
Shut up. Get back to your chickens, Tufty.
But, sir...
I'll talk to you later, without Mr. St. John. Come on, Peter.
But Chief Inspector...
We'll find your Francesca all right, Tufty.
Speaking of smells, my dear Chief Inspector, what a towering stink Mrs. Norman Tufty will raise if and when you do.
You suppose that bar is open at the Pied Merlin? What we both need is a glass of beer.
Oh, preferably two.
The bar was open, and the beer, by contrast with the breakfast, was reasonably satisfactory. Peter swilled down his first glass and set it down.
And what do you make of that, my dear Watson? Inquired Holmes.
The man's crackers.
Bad as a hatter. More beer, please, miss.
Doesn't like you, does he?
Score 1-1. I don't like him.
You porter fellows ask too many questions.
I think that was why he told us that fairy story?
No.
What do you think?
About the same as you think.
Oh, thank you, miss. I'm of two minds.
Are you?
One, he's either insane...
Probably.
Or two, he's resorting to an old device which has been used successfully by better men than Norman Tufty, Esquire.
Which is?
Telling a half-truth in the hope that nobody will believe him.
You think he killed the girl?
You're the Scotland Yard man. I work for a living.
There's a compulsion murderers sometimes feel to talk about the murder in a kind of elliptical fashion. Seem to enjoy seeing how far they can go without getting themselves caught.
Remember that chap at Wembley who killed his mother? Remember? What's talking about things lying on the floor? Just like a dead woman, he kept saying to people.
We hanged him.
I reported the execution. Ah, good morning, Constable.
Morning, Miss St. John. I hear there's a Scotland Yard gentleman here in the village, sir. Would you be him?
This is Chief Inspector Lincoln, yes. Constable Ernest Busby, Chief Inspector.
Morning, sir.
Morning, Constable.
Have a spot of pigs here, Constable?
I'm on duty, sir. I was wondering, Chief Inspector, if you'd seen Mr. Norman Tufty yet.
Yes, we saw him earlier this morning.
I wonder why he didn't say anything to me about seeing you, sir.
Oh, you've seen him this morning, too.
I did that, sir.
I trust he received you courteously.
I was out that way, Chief Inspector. Matter of a dog, had no license, and stopped by to inquire whether Mr. Tufty had any new information about his missing Miss Francesca.
He was feeding the chickens?
No, sir, he was digging an hole.
Digging a hole, eh?
Well, more properly, sir, filling up an hole. One of his hens had died of the pip, sir, and he was burying. Sir, do you think he's dotty? Insane, sir?
Surely one buries chickens when they
He
die.
He patted down the ground with a spade, sir, and he looked up at me, and he grinned at me kind of crazy-like, sir.
And what did he say, Constable?
Oh, I made a note of his exact words, sir. Just like I buried poor darling Francesca after I cut her up in pieces on the chopping block there. Pointing to the chopping block where he chops up the chicken's heads, sir.
Oh. And then what, Constable?
Well, sir, I admit I was horrified.
I think you would be.
Sir, if you please, I'm talking to the Chief Inspector.
Forgive me.
Forgiven.
What did the man do, Constable?
Sir, he bursted out laughing like a ruddy jackass. Did you think he was dotty, sir?
It's a compulsion, Constable.
Is that actionable, sir?
Fortunately, no, Constable.
Could be if he keeps it up, couldn't it, Chief Inspector?
We'll see.
Oh, I almost forgot, sir.
Forgot what?
Violet!
What?
I'm calling the young lady, sir.
What young lady, Constable?
Violet. Come in, please, Violet.
Who's this?
Come on in, Violet. Now, these gentlemen won't hurt you. Gentlemen, this is Miss Violet Ditkitt. He was employed as a kennel maid by Colonel James Seymour, who raises Bedlington Terriers on the place next to Mr. Tufty's.
Morning to you, gentlemen.
Morning.
Oh, good morning.
Violet is a bit of information I thought you might like to hear firsthand, Chief Inspector.
Well, Miss Didcot?
Oh, speak up, Violet. Do.
Well, I've seen her, sir.
Who, Miss Didcot?
Speak up, Violet.
Well, they're Miss Francesca, sir.
Miss Francesca Nicholson? When did you see her, Miss Didcot?
Saturday, sir.
Tell the Chief Inspector how it was, Violet.
Well, sir, I was walking up the lane to the kennels, and Miss Francesca comes hurrying along the bar road toward Mr. Tuffy's farm, and I see her, and she seen me. And she said, "Hello, Violet." And I said, "Hello, Miss Francesca." And she said, "Have you seen Mr. Tuffy?" And I said, "No." And she said, "Oh, there he is. Hello, darling." And I started to hurry faster, and I said, "Goodbye, Miss Francesca." And when I come to the end of the lane, she was walking along with him.
What time was that Saturday, Miss Didcot?
Oh, about after 2 on Saturday, sir.
That's all she knows, sir, she told me.
She was carrying one of the little suitcases, sir.
An attache case?
Oh, one of the little suitcases, sir, like a doll baby suitcase. Can I go now, Constable, please?
Yeah, unless you wish to ask any more questions, Chief Inspector.
No, you may go, Mr. Nicholson.
The doggies will be crying for their lunch, sir.
Oh, by all means, let's not keep them from their lunch, Mr. Nicholson.
No, sir. They get pig's liver and skimmed milk. Thank you, sir. Goodbye, sir.
She telling the truth, you think, Constable?
Violet did get down no hour to tell a lie, sir. She says she saw Miss Nicholson. She's seen her.
What are you thinking so hard about, Peter?
I'm wondering whose blood that is on Tufter's shirt.
Sir, there's a gentleman out here to see the other gentleman, sir.
Who, me?
No, sir, the other gentleman, he said.
Me?
Yes, you, sir. The gentleman in the checkered jacket, he said, sir.
Who is he, Violet?
It's Mr. Tuffy, sir.
Oh.
Go ahead. See what he wants now, Peter.
He's coming, Mr. Tuffy. Good day, sir.
Does Tufty know that Violet saw...
No, sir. I met her after I talked to him.
She won't say anything, will she? To him, I mean.
No, sir. I don't think so. She's rather shy. Being with dogs all the time. Besides, if she does, she knows I'll warm her bottom with a birch twig.
Eh?
She's my niece, sir.
What do you think, Constable?
About all this?
Yes.
Well, the nasty little beggar digs a very neat hole in the ground, sir. I shouldn't wonder if he's had practice. Here's Mr. What's his name, sir?
St. John. He's a reporter.
Oh.
Well? What's he want?
Miss, another beer, please.
Yes, sir. Another pint, sir.
Quite simple and quite to be expected, Chief Inspector.
Oh, what?
He wanted to know... Oh, thank you, miss.
Here, sir. Beer, sir.
In fact, he offered to give my half-crown back if I'd tell him what that Scotland Yard man was up to.
Oh?
What he was going to do.
Why don't you tell him?
I told him that you were coming out this afternoon with a gang of navvies and dig up his whole bloody farm, Chief Inspector.
I did not at once follow out the suggestion of Peter St. John, although I'd already made up my mind to find out whether Norman Tufty had been burying dead chickens or a dead woman. I wanted another talk with the man. I sent Constable Busby to bring him to the local police station where I could talk in an atmosphere more calculated to impress a man of Norman Tufty's type. He sat down opposite me, smelling of chickens. Don't you ever change your clothes, Tufty? I asked curiously.
Haven't any clothes to change to, Chief Inspector.
I'd like to check a little more on what you've told us, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
All right. When did you last see Miss Francesca Nicholson?
5 months ago.
Where?
At my farm. She came down from Kensal Rise to visit me. Stayed in the village with Mrs. Powers, but she spent a great deal of time at my farm.
You were engaged to be married?
Right?
You intended to marry?
Of course.
She believed that, did she?
She did.
What did you do when she didn't show up on the Saturday when she was supposed to arrive?
Why, I stayed around my farm and worked, then came into town and waited for her.
I have found a witness who saw Miss Nicholson on that day.
I don't believe it.
And who saw her with you?
I don't believe that either. You're trying to...
Trying to what, Mr. Tufty? Yes?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Constable Busby.
I've got it, sir.
Thank you. You can get started then.
Right, sir.
Busby, did you tell Chief Inspector you seen her that day with me?
It wasn't Constable Busby who saw you, Tufty. Go on, Constable. I'll want to know what happened.
Yes, sir.
I know your police tricks.
I interrupted you, Tufty. What was it you were accusing me of when Constable Busby... you said I was trying something. Now, what am I trying to do to you?
You're trying to make me talk.
In my poor, benighted fashion, that is exactly what I'm trying to do, Tufty. It's quite legal, I assure you.
I won't talk. I didn't do nothing.
You've told two separate people that you murdered Miss Nicholson and buried her body.
I was having a joke with you.
Oh, well, wasn't that joke in rather poor taste, Tufty? I see you're still wearing that bloodstained shirt.
It's my blood. I cut myself killing chickens.
You seem to have bled a lot.
Some of it's chicken blood.
Well, I'm sure you wouldn't object to allowing our laboratory to examine the shirt, would you? Would you?
You're trying to frame me up?
You've been reading crime novels. American crime novels. I'd like to tell you something, Tufty. Constable Busby came in here to tell me that he has obtained a search warrant.
What for?
You dig up your farm.
Well, they won't find anything.
I wonder.
They won't.
They'll be there in a few minutes.
But I tell you, they won't find anything.
Well, they'll try. If they have to dig up every inch of your farm. Beginning at that place where you said you were burying the chicken this morning, and progressing on to where you told Mr. St. John and me the body was buried, Tufty.
Listen.
I don't hear anything.
What do you think they'll find?
The body of Francesca Nicholson?
Well, I didn't kill her.
Who did?
I love Francesca.
Do you also love your wife?
How do you know about her?
You shouldn't let letters lie about.
Yes. I love my wife.
And is that why... Who is it?
It is I, even I, Artaxerxes the king.
What do you want, Peter?
I want to show Mr. Tufty something.
What?
Something I found in a hole, Chief Inspector. Look, Mr. Tufty.
What is that?
After I get the dirt brushed off, you'll see that it's an attaché case.
Where'd you get it?
Where did you get it?
It was in a shallow grave, Mr. Tufty, where you said you were burying a chicken this morning. Oh, it's all quite legal, Chief Inspector. I was there with my spade poised when they brought the search warrant. And I came back here on a motor bicycle which I rented. Very fast, Mr. Tufty.
That was all I heard.
Uh-huh. You heard me coming. Just take a look at the name on this attaché case.
Francesca.
Listen to me.
Listen to me, Mr. Tufty. I arrest you on suspicion of murder.
It'll take much more than suspicion, Mr. Chief Inspector, to hang me.
Oh, don't worry about that, old boy. Constable Busby was digging up her left leg, and I had to hurry away.
On suspicion of murder of Francesca Nicholson, I warn you that anything you say will be taken down in writing and may be used in evidence.
I'd be glad to take it down, Tufty. I use a typewriter quite well. So speak up, old boy.
When the attaché case that had belonged to Francesca Nicholson was unlocked and opened, it contained one article, an unfinished dress for a baby. That was why Norman Tufty murdered her. He already had a wife, and he said of the trial that she had hanged herself at the farm when he told her he couldn't marry her, and the baby would have to be born without a name. It was easy to disprove that. The corpse's neck was not broken. But Norman Tufty's was, most thoroughly, at Wandsworth Prison 5 weeks later, on a cold and foggy morning.
Appearing today on Whitehall 1212 were Harvey Hayes, Horace Braham, Lester Fletcher, Morris Dallymore, Gordon Stern, and Patricia Courtley. Whitehall 1212 is written and directed by Willis Cooper.
Whitehall 1212.
This is Scotland Yard.
For the first time in history, Scotland Yard opens its official files to bring you the authentic, true stories of some of its most baffling cases.
These are the true stories, the plain, unvarnished facts, just as they occurred, reenacted for you by an all-British cast. Only the names of the participants have, for obvious reasons, been changed. The stories are presented with the full cooperation of Scotland Yard.
Research on Whitehall 1212 is from Percy Hoskins, chief crime reporter of the London Daily Express. The stories for radio are written and directed by Willis Cooper. Now you will hear the voice of Chief Superintendent John Davidson, curator of Scotland Yard's famous Black Museum. Chief Superintendent Davidson will brief you on Scotland Yard case number 604 MR 804.
Good afternoon. Here in the Black Museum at Scotland Yard, which is neither black nor is it a museum, are kept on file articles of various sorts which have in one way or another been connected with cases of criminal investigation that our people have worked on. Now, we keep these articles not for their morbid interest as weapons that have committed murder, nor because they have been merely involved in various crimes of violence, but as exemplars of methods and means of commission. What has puzzled us on some long-forgotten crime may one day be of assistance to us in solving another. Now, this is a typical example. Though you may not recognize it at once, I can tell you that it's what is left of the handle to a woman's purse, her handbag. It's made of a kind of plastic material similar to that of which artificial teeth are sometimes made. It survived an attempted destruction under most extraordinary conditions and was recognizable as the property of a particular person. Now, here is Superintendent George Freeman of the CID, who was in charge of the case in which it was involved, number 604 MR 804. George?
I should like to say first, John, that there are certain aspects of this case which I cannot bring myself to discuss in public.
I'm relieved to hear you say that, Superintendent.
There was considerable reference to these things in the sensational press at the time, but I propose to omit all mention of them. I shall confine myself, as far as possible, to how we at Scotland Yard discovered the murderer and assisted in bringing him to justice.
I couldn't agree with you more, George.
There is, however, a happy ending to the story.
A happy ending?
Uh-huh. He was hanged. On an afternoon in 1949, Mrs. Minerva Bannamon, a well-to-do 68-year-old widow, walked out of the Kensington hotel in which she lived. She was never seen again. Woman Police Sergeant Elsie Rice was assigned to investigate. I was present when she made her report.
On inquiry at the hotel, I determined that the last person to have seen Mrs. Bannamon alive was a Mrs. Beatrice Miller, another resident of the hotel.
Did you speak to Mrs. Miller, Sergeant?
I interviewed her, yes, sir. Her conversation was as follows, according to her account. Mrs. Miller, are you going shopping? Mrs. Bannamon, no, I'm going down to Crawley with Mr. Hughes.
Who's Mr. Hughes, Sergeant?
He's a young businessman, an engineer, according to Mrs. Miller, who sometimes shares a table at the hotel dining room with Bannamon.
Have you interviewed this Hughes?
No, sir. He was not at the hotel, and there wasn't anyone who knew his business address. I left a message saying I'd call on him this evening at 8, sir.
Very well, Sergeant.
Thank you, sir.
I turned my attention to other matters of more pressing importance than a report on a missing woman. And Sergeant Rice reported to me the next morning.
I interviewed that Mr. Hughes last night, sir.
Hughes. Oh, yes, that missing woman.
Mrs. Minerva Bannamon, sir.
Uh-huh. Sit down, Sergeant.
Thank you, sir. He stated that he did not meet Mrs. Bannamon.
What's that?
He agreed that he did have an engagement with her, sir. He was to drive her to Crawley, where he had a small manufactory.
What for, did he say?
To look at some fingernails, sir.
Some what?
Some sort of plastic artificial fingernails he'd invented, sir.
By any chance, was she going to invest money in this thing?
He said she was, sir.
Mm-hmm. But they didn't go there, you said?
That's what he said, sir.
When was this?
2 days ago, sir. On Wednesday.
I don't like that investing business, Sergeant. Artificial fingernails. It's absurd, isn't it?
No, sir.
Huh?
Some women wear them, sir. They come in different colors.
Are you serious?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But she didn't show up. Probably got suspicious. He's a suspicious-looking chap, Sergeant? Artificial fingernails.
I didn't like him, sir.
Woman's intuition.
No, sir. He's a little too smooth to suit me. Greasy. Greasy hair, greasy face, revolting little black moustache. Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
I suspect the old girl got the same impression you had, Sergeant, and ran out, clutching her investing money to her ample bosom.
She was a small, active woman, sir.
You got her description?
Yes, sir. Wearing a black Persian lamb coat, dark burgundy dress.
A what dress?
Red, sir. Carrying a small handbag with a large plastic handle. Hair white, complexion ruddy. Wore false teeth, both upper and lower plates. Jewelry, a gold bracelet, at least 4 rings, 2 of which were set with large diamonds. An old-fashioned watch with gold breastpin in a fleur-de-lis shape.
Oh, all right, Sergeant. I'll take your word for it.
Yes, sir.
I'm much more interested in this investment business. We'll find the old lady with such efficient people as you, Sergeant.
Thank you, sir.
But this fellow Hughes, where's his factory? Crawley, you said.
Crawley, yes, sir. Near Horsham, sir. Between here and Brighton.
Yep. Superintendent Freeman here. I want the police station at Horsham. Telephone's a great invention. I keep thinking of that American cinema actor. What's his name? Meach. Hello?
Horsham Police Station, Sergeant Hodge.
Superintendent Freeman, Scotland Yard, Sergeant.
Oh, yes, sir.
Look here. You know a chap named Hughes has a factory of some sort at Crawley?
Know him by sight, sir. Very dapper chap. Black hair, small black moustache like Hitler's.
That's the one.
There's a tiny shed. You hardly call it a factory, sir, on Leopold Road in Crawley. Yes, sir. Saw him just the other day, sir.
When was that?
Wednesday, sir. 2 days ago.
You sure of that, Sergeant?
Yes, sir. He was with an elderly lady, sir. A lady in a Persian lamb coat, I think it's called, sir.
Here, give that description to Sergeant Rice. Yes, Sergeant.
Yes, sir. Sergeant Rice here. Yes, I'm a sergeant. What? Persian lamb? Yes. Dark red dress? Yes. Red-faced, white hair? Handbag with a big handle? Funny old-fashioned watch?
Let's have the phone, Sergeant.
Wait a sec. Yes, sir.
Where did you see them, Sergeant?
Walking down Leopold Road together, sir, toward this factory of his, sir.
No mistake, Sergeant.
Oh, no, sir. No mistake.
Seen him since?
No, sir.
Send a man over to this factory right now and have him stay there till Hughes shows up.
Yes.
I want to see that man, Hughes, at once. Pick him up and let me know when you've got him.
Yes, sir.
Well, Sergeant, I think you're right in not liking Mr. Hughes.
What's up, sir?
Well, for one thing, he's a liar. And second, we'll see. CRO, please. Criminal records officer. Yes, I will.
How did that sergeant at Horsham know the description of Mrs. Bannamon's clothing, sir? Was she...
Hello? Who is it speaking? Oh, good morning, Murphy. Superintendent Freeman here. Look, do you have anything on a man named Hughes? What's the rest of his name, Sergeant?
John George, sir. Age about 40.
John George Hughes, at present at Crawley, about 40. Dark hair and moustache. How tall, Sergeant?
About 5'7" or 8, sir.
5'7" or 8. The man said to be an inventor of sorts. Has a factory at Crawley in West Sussex. Could you check quickly for me, please? Good. I'll be here in my office. Thank you. What were you saying, Sergeant Rice?
I was asking how that sergeant at Horsham knew about the clothing Mrs. Bannamon was wearing, sir.
He said... Oh, excuse me. Superintendent Freeman. Yes, ma'am. Oh? What's that number? 86522. Right. Surrey Assizes. London sessions in 1941. Well, just send the file round to me, will you? Oh, is there a photograph of him in the file? Good. Good. Thank you very much. You recognize him from the photograph, wouldn't you, Sergeant?
Oh, yes, sir. sir, I was wondering...
Your Mrs. Bannamon was with Hughes at the factory Wednesday afternoon.
That's how that sergeant knew about her clothing, then.
That's right. He saw them together. So your Mr. Hughes is a liar. Now, CRO has a file on Hughes. He got 4 years at Surrey Assizes in 1937 for obtaining money by false pretenses. He was sentenced to 21 months for theft at London Sessions in 1941. So he's a thief and a cheat. Be interested to see if he can prove he's not a murderer, too. I sent people to the Kensington Hotel where Hughes lived, and which was also the home of the missing Minerva Bannamon. She had not returned. Hughes' room on another floor had not been occupied. I again telephoned the police station at Horsham, which is 4 miles from the village of Crawley, where Hughes had his fingernail factory. He had not been seen at all. The door to the place was still padlocked, they told me. Sergeant Rice came into my office.
Afternoon, sir.
Where have you been, Sergeant?
Communications, sir. I worked up as complete a list as I could of the jewelry Mrs. Bannamon was wearing and had it sent out on the teletype.
All police stations?
All stations, sir, including Horsham.
Don't think you'll get very much from Horsham.
Sir, don't you think it'd be a good idea if I ran down to Horsham and had a look at that factory of Hughes?
Oh, what do you expect to find?
I might find Mrs. Bannamon, sir.
Sergeant Rice, I've never told you what I think of women detective sergeants. Have I?
No, sir.
I think the rank of woman detective sergeant should be abolished.
Yes, sir.
And then I think they all ought to be promoted to chief superintendents, to remind the superintendents to keep their minds on their jobs. Come along, I'll go with you.
It was late afternoon when we arrived at the dingy little factory in Crawley, 40 miles away. Sergeant Hodge from Horsham was waiting for us.
Good evening, sir. Evening. I came straight over here when you telephoned, sir. I let my men go for an early supper, sir. I'll relieve them for a while.
Let's have a look at the place, shall we?
Come along this way, sir.
Not very inviting, is it, Sergeant?
No, Sergeant.
Haven't seen him at all, eh?
No sign of him, sir. This is the door, sir. Padlocked, you see, sir.
The only door, Sergeant?
Yes, Sergeant.
Hate to smash that padlock.
How about one of these windows?
They're locked, Sergeant.
Only those 2 windows?
Yes, sir.
So dusty, I can't see through them.
Careful leaning against that window, Sergeant. You'll break it.
I did break it, didn't I?
Are you hurt, Sergeant Rice? Are you hurt, Elsie?
I broke a fingernail, I think.
I told you not.
I'm so clumsy, Sergeant.
Certainly are.
Well, at least I can see through the window.
Don't cut yourself, Sergeant.
There's something lying on the floor in there.
See who it is.
Give me a boost through here, Sergeant.
That's breaking and entering, Sergeant.
That's going in pursuit of suspected felon, Sergeant. Isn't it, sir?
Exactly.
Give us a boost, Sergeant.
Can you see who it is in there?
Not a body. Looked exactly like one, though.
What is it?
Seems to be some old clothes, suit of rubber things, trousers, coat.
Laboratory clothes, I expect.
Nobody in here, though. Don't see anybody. Floor's hollow, though. Maybe something under there?
I'm coming in. Here, Sergeant Hodge, give me a hand.
Right, sir.
That's good.
Shall I come in, sir?
Come on.
Right, sir.
What's that stuff there in the corner?
Seems to be some kind of large glass bottle.
They're carboys that acid came in, Sergeant. I've seen them before, sir. Be careful, that acid burns, Sergeant.
I've no intention of taking a bath in it, Sergeant.
It's the last bath you ever took, Sergeant.
Stop the back chat, both of you.
Well, I wasn't. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Well, I expect we'd better see what's under this floor, Hodge.
Yes, sir.
What's that you're falling over?
Sir. Did a pump, sir, like the air raid chaps used to put out fires.
This fellow Hughes in the ARP here, Hodge?
Don't think so, sir.
Probably uses it to transfer the acid from these great bottles to some other place, sir.
Thanks. Well, better get to taking up this floor. Any tools around here?
There's a crowbar or something over there by the window, sir. Will that do?
Get it.
Where'll I start, sir?
Here, I think this board's loosed. Let's get it up. Go on.
Just what do you people think you're doing here? I know you, young woman. I know you ought. Who are you, sir?
I'm Superintendent Freeman of Scotland Yard. You are John George Hughes, I take it.
I am, and I'm the bloody owner of this bloody place. I was rather expecting you, sir. As for you, Sergeant Royce, I'll tell you at once, Mrs. Bannamon is not here.
You were with Mrs. Bannamon the last time she was alive, Mr. Hughes.
Where, sir?
Here in this town on Wednesday afternoon.
I was not.
You were seen and recognized.
Well, I can only say that whoever says he saw me with her is mistaken. I was in London.
Are you mistaken, Sergeant Hodge?
No, sir, I am not.
Well, sir, I assure you, Mrs. Bannamon is not here.
Do you know where she is?
You said she had vanished into thin air. Miss Rice, is that right?
I said she disappeared.
Into thin air, you said. Oh, somebody said. Maybe I said.
Mr. Hughes, I should like you to come up to London with me.
Why?
I should like to have your answers to a few questions.
About Mrs. Bannamon?
Yes.
Well, all I can tell you about Mrs. Bannamon is that you'll not find her here. Or any other place.
Really, I should advise you to come to London and answer my questions, Mr. Hughes.
Will you arrest me if I don't?
Very probably.
On what charge, Superintendent?
Suspicion of murder?
It's possible.
How do you know Mrs. Bannamon was murdered? If you can't find a body.
You're quite a clever man, Mr. Hughes.
And you won't find her body, my good man. There's no corpus delicti.
I'm going to give you a short lesson, Mr. Hughes, in criminal law. The phrase corpus delicti is from the Latin and means the body of the crime, not the body of the victim of the crime at all. If it's proved that Mrs. Bannamon met her death through criminal agency and intent, that one simple fact will be the corpus delicti, whether we ever find Mrs. Bannerman's physical body or not. In that case, anyone remotely connected with the affair is quite likely to find himself in for an unpleasant time.
I'll go to London with you.
Such methods don't always work. They're on the very edge of legality. It's only in a court of law, in a trial after a person has been duly charged with the commission of a crime, that he's required to answer any questions and then under oath. But a prudent man welcomes the opportunity to speak out. His refusal to do so is highly suspicious. Mr. John George Hughes chose to answer freely. It was next morning at Scotland Yard I asked him, among other things, how is it that the constables on duty at your factory did not see you enter the place, Mr. Hughes?
Because I came there directly after my interview with your Miss Rice, before the constables were assigned to watch my factory. I suspected they'd have the police on me, and I didn't want them mucking about in my factory in my absence.
Then you'd been in that place at least 2 days without going out.
Longer than that.
What were you doing?
Various things. Keep them hidden, mostly.
You still maintain that Mrs. Bannamon didn't come to your factory?
Before this occasion, yes. But she always left, Superintendent.
But this time, she didn't.
She didn't come there this time. I told you.
Excuse me. Superintendent Freeman here.
I've got the coat, sir.
Good, Sergeant. Is it hers?
That Mrs. Beatrice Miller, sir, who first told me about Mrs. Bannamon. The last person who saw her at the hotel, remember?
I know.
She identified it as Mrs. Bannamon.
We'll have to prove it, Sergeant.
Mrs. Miller thinks she can do that, sir.
Very well, carry on. Mr. Hughes, I may as well tell you that a party of CID people are now at your factory in Leopold Road, Crawley, with a search warrant.
Well, they won't find anything.
They've already found something.
Some of my personal property, I suppose. I know they haven't found Mrs. Bannamon.
They found a cleaner's ticket for a Persian lamb fur coat. In your name.
A friend of mine asked me to have it cleaned for her.
What is her name?
Mrs. Diana Thorpe.
Where does she live?
I don't know her address. She's gone to Dover to visit her sister.
Sergeant Rice took the ticket and called for the coat.
Well, she has no business doing
The
that.
coat has been identified as Mrs. Bannerman's coat.
That's nonsense.
I'm afraid not, Mr. Hughes.
What else did they find at my place?
What else would they find? More personal belongings?
I'm not going to talk to you anymore.
You're not required to answer any questions, Mr. Hughes.
I've got to rest first.
As you like, sir.
You've tired me out with all these questions. I don't know what I'm saying.
You may go whenever you wish, Mr. Hughes. We'll find you when we need you.
Threatening me, eh?
Making a statement of fact. Now, if you wish to go.
Why don't you arrest me?
If I can uncover enough evidence to justify it, I shall.
Who's that?
Come in. Come in, Sergeant Hodge. You know Mr. Hughes, of course.
Yes, sir. Mr. Sturm of Horsham. Superintendent Freeman, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, Mr. Sturm. Come in.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Hughes was just leaving.
Well, I'll wait a minute.
As you prefer, sir. Well, Mr. Sturm.
Mr. Sturm is a pawnbroker, sir, in Horsham.
This is Mr. Hughes.
Last time I saw him, his name was Whitaker.
You're a liar.
Please, Mr. Hughes. And when did you see this gentleman last, Mr.
When he
Sturm?
bought this with me for 17 quid.
How interesting. An antique breast watch fastened with a fleur-de-lis clip.
Exactly the same as the one described in the circular sent out from Scotland Yard here as the property of Mrs. Minerva Bannamon.
What have you to say to that, Mr. Hughes?
Well, she was wearing it the day she was with him at Crawley. I saw it, sir.
Mr. Hughes?
I never saw it in my life.
You walked it with me, Mr. Bloodywell Whitaker Hughes. Oh, excuse me, sir. For 17 quid of my money.
I said you're a liar.
Be quiet, Hughes.
I'll swear to it, Inspector. Superintendent. I'll swear to it, Super.
Jake Sturm, you're a liar.
All I want is my money.
Is your name Jake, Mr. Sturm?
Jacob Aloysius Sturm, yes, sir.
You do remember Mr. Sturm, then, Mr. Hughes?
He bloody well does, he does.
Well, then, Sergeant Hodge, did you find anything else there at the factory? Would you like to go now, Mr. Hughes?
What'd you find?
Well, sir.
What'd you find?
Tell him, Sergeant.
Found this, sir.
What is it?
Was it? Part of a handle, it looks like.
That's what it is. Excuse me, sir. Off a lady's handbag. And it's all kind of melted like. He wouldn't do that, sir.
Acid would do it, wouldn't it, Mr. Hughes?
Then that's what's happened to these two, sir. See? False teeth I found in the same place, sir.
Now, I wonder whose they are, Mr. Hughes.
I don't know anything about them.
I wish Sergeant Rice were here.
Why, sir?
I'd just like her to take them to Mrs. Bannerman's dentist, whose name she knows, and see if he can identify them. You see, Mr. Hughes, teeth can rarely be destroyed by anything. Fire, acid. Who can that be, do you suppose? Come in.
Oh, excuse me, sir.
Come in, Sergeant Rice.
Oh, thank you, sir. Sergeant Hodge, I saw Dr. Finch in the forensic laboratory as I came in. He asked me to give these things to you.
Thank you, Sergeant.
What are they?
What did the doctor say they are, Sergeant?
He said they're fragments of human bone. This one's from a bone of the foot. This one's probably part of a vertebrae. And the others I don't remember.
What's happened to them? Hey, look.
They were found in that spot behind the place at Crawley, sir, where I found the false teeth and the purse handle. They've all been partly destroyed by acid.
Well, Mr. Hughes, it seems we do have a corpus delicti.
What are you going to do about it?
Sergeant Rice is going to do it, Mr. Hughes. You found him first, Sergeant. Go ahead.
John George Hughes, I arrest you on charge of willful murder. I warn you that anything you say will be taken down in writing and may be used in evidence.
What do you find amusing, Hughes?
I'm just thinking. All the trouble and expense everybody's going to be put to. And when it's all over, I'll be sent to a nice, comfortable loony bin where I'll spend the rest of my life in comfort.
I may venture to disagree with you, Hughes.
Nobody in the world would believe a man in his right mind would do what I've done, Superintendent.
You've been warned, Hughes.
All right. I'll make sure they believe I'm crazy. Old Bannamon wasn't the first one I've dealt with this way. She was the fourth. And I didn't get enough money out of all folk to make it murder for profit. I'm crazy, I tell you. Crazy. And let the jury read that from your notes, Sergeant Miss Nasty Rice. I just tapped the ex-Miss Bannamon on the back of her skull, just like I did the others. A man and his wife and a young boy. And I didn't get 30 quid out of the whole lot. And I'll tell you what I did with them all. You saw all that acid when you were snooping in my factory. But perhaps you can think of what happens to a human body when it's dumped into a 40-gallon vat of it. Soup. That's all. Nasty, yellow soup.
And a few pieces of bone and a set of false teeth and this handle that can be identified.
And that Persian lamb coat that I sent out to have the bloodstains cleaned off it. And nothing left of them all, except what was left in the acid when I poured it out. Think I won't be sent to Broadmoor instead of the hangman? Oh, let me tell you what else I did. I killed each one before I shoved them in the acid bath.
No. No, I'll not allow you to hear that. If you're morbid enough to want to know what Hughes did with his victims before he placed them in the acid bath to dissolve, you'll have to write me a letter asking about it. I may reply. The jury believed the alienist who testified that John George Hughes was perfectly sane. They also believed his confession of horrible murder. The verdict was guilty. The sentence to death. His appeal was denied, and he was hanged at Wandsworth 41 days after he had foully murdered his last victim.
You have heard another in the series Whitehall 1212, compiled from the official files of Scotland Yard. Research is by Percy Hoskins. Among those heard today were Horace Brame, Harvey Hayes, Joe Huntley Wright, Lester Fletcher, Guy Spall, and Gordon Stern. These stories for radio are written and directed by Willis Cooper.
Whitehall 1212.
This is Scotland Yard.
For the first time in history, Scotland Yard opens its official files to bring you the authentic true stories of some of its most baffling cases.
These are the true stories, the plain, unvarnished facts, just as they occurred, reenacted for you by an all-British cast. Only the names of the participants have, for obvious reasons, been changed. The stories are presented with the full cooperation of Scotland Yard.
Research on Whitehall 1212 comes from Percy Hoskins, chief crime reporter of the London Daily Express. The stories for radio are written and directed by Willis Cooper. Here is Chief Superintendent John Davidson, custodian of the famous Black Museum of Scotland Yard.
Good afternoon. This exhibit from the files of the Black Museum is labeled 50MR242, which is the file number of the case you are here about. You'll note that it is not a very good wedding ring. That is, it is of intrinsically poor quality. The base metal of which it was made shows through the shabby, worn covering of gold wash with which it was once adorned. Base metal, yes, as base as the purpose for which the ring was purchased for 6 shillings. As false as the promises of the bridegroom who bought it and took it back again after it had served its purpose. I hope you'll pardon my sentimentality. A policeman is generally not entitled to that luxury. I ask you to judge for yourself. Inspector Stephen Rockheed, who was Scotland Yard's principal representative in this case, shares my feelings, I think.
Your feelings seem to have been shared by a great many persons who participated in this case, John. Witness Mr. Justice Brewster and what he didn't say at the trial.
I'm afraid I don't remember, Stephen.
He omitted the phrase, "May the Lord have mercy on your soul," when he sentenced Stanley Brown to death. 50-242 began for me with what, if it happened in a drama for the wireless, would be described as an incredible coincidence. A letter had been passed to my desk. It had been addressed to Criminal Investigation Department, New Scotland Yard. A letter from a man named Crittenden, living at Aston Clinton in Buckinghamshire. The CID receives dozens of letters of its type daily, and it is our generally tiresome duty to read them all. Whilst I was glancing over it, a visitor was announced. Before he sat down, he laid a 3-days-old copy of the Morning Telegraph on my desk.
You're Inspector Rockheed?
Yes?
My name's Ramsey, Norman Ramsey, formerly of Blackpool, now resident in Shepherd's Bush.
Yes?
I've been carrying this paper around for 3 days.
Why?
This article here, sir.
This one?
Here.
Highgate tragedy. Bride drowns in bath.
That's the one.
What about it, Mr. Ramsey?
Well, I've come here because I was a witness to a very similar case 2 years ago.
Where, sir?
In Blackpool, where I formerly lived. A bride drowned in her bath just 2 days after her wedding.
What was her name?
Brown.
I see. Well, Mr. Ramsey, you are to be commended for bringing this to our attention. That was her husband's name, I assume.
Stanley Brown was his name.
What happened to him, do you remember?
Oh, I don't know. He went away the day his wife was buried. In rather a hurry, I thought.
Are you making an accusation, Mr. Ramsey?
I must admit I didn't like the fellow.
Are you making an accusation?
I am telling you what I know about an extraordinary coincidence, sir.
Excuse me. Did you know the wife's maiden name?
Oh, I believe it was Crittenden.
Crittenden?
No, that's right, yes, I'm sure.
Alicia Crittenden.
Oh, you've heard of the case.
Do you remember how the late Mrs. Stanley Brown, the former Alicia Crittenden, was buried, sir?
I most certainly do. It was the most shocking thing I'd ever heard of. She was buried in a common grave.
With 3 other deceased persons in the cheapest part of the graveyard.
How do you know that?
Because I have a letter here in this morning's post from her father, relating the same facts you've just told me, and considerably more besides. You speak of a coincidence, Mr. Ramsey.
Well, this is amazing.
It's more than that, sir. I'm afraid I shall have to ask you a few more questions. We talked for 2 hours. Mr. Ramsey remembered a great many things about the death of the bride in her bath at Blackpool. He remembered a representative of an insurance firm who'd asked him his opinion of Alicia Crittenden Brown as a potential risk for life insurance. He recalled having been asked to witness 2 newly drawn wills, one of the husband and one of the wife, in which each left the other everything. He recalled the circumstances of the fatal bath.
Well, they had 2 small rooms on the first floor in this house. It was a sort of private lodging house, you see. Extremely charming people owned it, Mr. and Mrs. Ralston. I've heard that they've gone to America. But I remember the circumstances quite well indeed. The bathroom was just above the kitchen where the rest of us were sitting this particular Saturday night.
Do you remember exactly when it was?
Early in March, if I remember correctly. She was upstairs. I remember his saying to her, "Now mind, don't get the bath too hot. Remember your seizures."
Her what?
Seizures. She had epilepsy, I believe. Well, then it was very quiet on the floor above us, and at last Brown said he was a bit worried about her and went up. Came back almost at once and said, "Oh, she's all right," or something like that. Sat down and played the piano for a while. Then he went upstairs again, and I heard him calling out that she had drowned. The doctor came, and that was the whole thing.
And you have certain suspicions?
Not enough to go to the police. Before, I mean.
You obviously have now.
Did you notice the name of the husband of the bride who was drowned in the bath at Highgate?
Why,
Look at the paper here.
Stanley. J. Stanley.
Stanley Brown's full name was James Stanley Brown.
Well, Mr.
I'm sure you understand, Inspector, that I realize I may be doing the man a dreadful injustice. He may, so far as I know, be the victim of... Well,
coincidence, eh?
Well, yes, put it that way, if you like. I shall never forgive myself if I've stirred up suspicion of an innocent man, but...
You'd recognize him if you saw him?
Of course. Never forget him. Tall, heavy man with a long face like a horse, perfectly bald head, and the most extraordinary eyes I've ever seen. Absolutely dead eyes. Like some primordial monster from the slime of an ancient sea.
Are you a poet, Mr. Ramsey?
I'm sorry. He is rather fishy looking. Yes, of course I'd recognize J. Stanley Brown.
Excuse me. Will you put me through to the police at Highgate, please? Right. Ring me when you get them. I should like to ask you to come up to Highgate with me. Could you come this afternoon?
Oh, this afternoon? Well, let me see.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Inspector Rockheath speaking, Scotland Yard. Oh, yes. Hello, is that you, Richard? Oh, I wanted to talk to Chief Inspector Richard Yarber at Highgate. Right. Oh, there you are, Richard. Stephen Rockheath here. Oh, fine, thank you. How are you? The young woman who died in her bath, when was it? The day before yesterday? Right. Mrs. Stanley. I'd like to have a look at her husband, Richard. Where would I find him? I mean, does he live at... What?
What's the matter,
really?
Sir?
Can't hear you, old boy. Oh, when? What? Interesting. The same day she was buried, eh?
What, sir? Shh. I'm very sorry.
That's very interesting. How long have they been married? Says recently married in the paper here. 3 days.
It's Brown, I know it. Sorry, sir.
Well, yes, I would rather like to talk with him. I think we better pass the word to have him picked up.
Is he gone?
If you please, Mr. Ramsey.
I'm sorry, I'm very sorry.
What's he look like? Half a tick. Where's my pencil?
Here.
Now, go ahead. Tall, about 14 stone. Big chap, isn't he? What kind of extraordinary eyes?
Oh, that's him.
Like an insane what? What? Thin and hatty? You do turn a phrase, Richard. Excuse me. What are you saying?
Bald-headed. Ask him if he's bald-headed.
Yes, bald-headed chap, is he? Oh, curly black hair.
Well, that's not him. It can't be.
Will you please be quiet, Mr. Ramsey?
Well, he was perfectly...
Sorry, Richard. Yes, thanks. Give our people here at the yard the fullest description you have, and thank you very much indeed. No, I'm not sure, but the circumstances of his wife's funeral do interest me. I'm very curious. Thank you.
Is he gone, sir?
He's gone, yes. And where do you suppose his bride is?
Why, you said she was buried.
She is buried in a common grave with 4 other miscellaneous corpses, just like the other bride of 3 days who died in her bath. Mr. J. Stanley of Highgate, who bore certain resemblances to Mr. James Stanley Brown of Blackpool, was not to be found. The attending physician at Highgate, who'd signed the death certificate for the drowned bride, told us that she had visited him the afternoon of the fatal bath. He had given her some powders for what she described as a migraine headache, which was sometimes, she said, so severe that she had fainted from the pain. The powders had not been unsealed when the body was found, although the husband had told him that his bride had complained of a nagging headache immediately before her bath. You certified her death, of course, as from natural causes, I asked the doctor.
I did, sir. I was convinced at the time, and still am, that a sudden twinge of pain caused her to faint. She slipped down in the bath until her head was under water, and she drowned before aid could reach her. She was naturally alone in the bathroom, sir.
Do you recall anything that her husband said at the time, sir?
Well, the man was all but prostrated. He kept repeating that if he'd only insisted she take some of the medicine I had given her, she'd still be alive.
Would she have been?
In effect, I so certified, Inspector.
A post-mortem might...
I saw no need there, nor do I now of a post-mortem. If I may venture an opinion, I think you're being needlessly officious, sir.
I'm sorry, Doctor.
Reply by Mr. Francis Harrington, insurance broker of Highgate, to an inquiry by Inspector Rockheed of Scotland Yard.
No, I did not pay the amount of the insurance to Mr. J. Stanley. Mrs. Stanley was insured in the amount of £1,000 sterling. Yes, he called me early on the following Monday morning with a copy of the death certificate, but, there are certain formalities, with the Home Office, and I was unable to give him a check. Yes, he was very annoyed. No, I did not think it unusual. I found that people are quite unpredictable in matters relating to life insurance. Yes. Yes, he said he would be away for some time. He said he would notify me of his address and I could send the check there. He notified me today, and I've already sent him the company's check for £1,000 sterling. Yes. I think I can give it to you, yes. It's 8 Rotherhithe Crescent, South End. You're quite welcome, sir.
An inquiry at 8 Rotherhithe Crescent, South End, disclosed the fact that this was an accommodation address. Stanley had picked up his check, canceled his arrangements for receiving mail, and gone away from there, leaving no forwarding address. I was having a plate of cold roast beef with John Davidson, the Black Museum man. He was a superintendent then. In the course of our meal, I told him the sequence of events. John finished his roast beef in silence. What do you think, John? I asked.
A little too well done for me, I'm afraid.
What?
I like my roast beef rare. Wasn't that what you were talking about?
You know quite well I wasn't, John.
Say, pass those pickles if you're not going to eat them, will you?
Mm-hmm. Well?
Excellent pickle. Why, if you're asking about the story of the brides in the bath, Stephen...
I am.
Well, I'm forcefully reminded of a biblical quotation. The wicked flee when no man pursueth. That's Proverbs 28, first verse.
We're pursuing this fella.
Yeah, but he doesn't know it. As far as he knows, no man is pursuing him.
Yes, but he...
And he's obviously fleeing. Therefore, he must be wicked. QED.
On the face of things, these two deaths are coincidences, John.
Well, it's quite possible.
We don't even know it's the same man. Bald-headed men don't suddenly grow curly black hair.
Well, sometimes they wear wigs.
Yeah, I thought of that. Have to find him to prove it.
Is there any more beer in that jug? Thank you. No, I don't think you're going about finding him in the right way, Stephen.
Do you have any suggestion, then?
Say, no more of that beer, I suppose. That's a pity. Why, I think if I were doing it, I'd take my cue from that proverb I just quoted.
Well?
I'd give the wicked something to flee from. He just might flee right into your arms.
Perhaps you'll tell me how to do that one.
Of course. Well, I'd dig up those girls' bodies and let Henry Berta, the pathologist, have a look at them. Can't say I envy him. One of them's been dead a year or more, hasn't she?
2 years.
Poor Henry. Well, at least he could tell you whether the chap's really wicked or not. If he is, then cry havoc and let slip the dogs of war. And Julius Caesar, Act 3, Scene 1.
After a series of annoying explanations on my part, I succeeded in obtaining the necessary permission to exhume the bodies of Alicia Crittenden Brown at Blackpool and of the late Mrs. J. Stanley at Highgate. Henry Bernard, the long-suffering pathologist, was assigned to perform the postmortems on both bodies. Accordingly, he proceeded first to Blackpool in Lancashire for the first of the examinations. I waited impatiently. 2 days later, I received a telephone call from that well-known watering place. It was, of course, Bernard.
Henry Bernard here, Rocky. Well, I've finished. It's, of course, impossible to say at this late date whether the woman was really a sufferer from epilepsy. I told you that before I came up here. What? No, there's no evidence of any organic disease. No, she wasn't poisoned. No, there's no indication whatever of any wound of any kind on the body. Lacking any other evidence, I can assure you there is none. We must accept the fact that she drowned as a result of an epileptic seizure. No, there can be no more to add.
Excuse me, there's
I
somebody
am,
at the
however,
door.
conferring this evening with the doctor who signed the death certificate.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, what do you want?
Telephone and
I'm
Water
talking
Street
on the...
police station just telephoned you. They waited, but then they said they wouldn't wait any longer. And pleased to give you the message at once, as it is extremely important.
Well, spit it out. What do they want?
It was Inspector Wogan, sir. He said to tell you that there's a lady complaining to them that her husband is threatening to kill her.
Now, look here, Constable. I'm in no mood to be bothered with details that can be handled by... Tell them to do their own work. I'm busy. Of all the... Hello, Bernard. Hello, are you there? Hello. Oh, he's hung up, damn it. Now, look here.
Well, they said you'd be most interested when you hear the lady's name, sir.
Well, what is her name, then?
Mrs. J. Stanley Brown, sir.
I hurried at once to Wardour Street, where Mrs. Marigold Brown, the alleged wife of the vanishing J. Stanley Brown, had come to report the threat in her life. She was a tall, angular woman, singularly unattractive, wearing a shapeless gray tweed coat and a series of large aluminum bracelets which clanked. She sat stiffly in an uncomfortable chair and answered my questions quietly.
Yes. We've been married for 11 years, Stanley and I.
You could, of course, produce your marriage certificate, Mrs. Brown.
I have it at home.
Mr. Brown and you live together?
He's away a great deal. I'm alone for several months at a time.
Where does he go?
His business takes him to various parts of the country.
What is his business, Mrs. Brown?
I'm afraid I don't know.
Does he...
He doesn't give me much money. When he's away, I generally go into service. I'm considered quite a good housemaid.
Do you know what your husband does when he's away from home?
I think he deals in second-hand goods in various places.
Do you hear from him when he's away?
He sends me picture postcards.
From where, for example?
Portsmouth, Bristol, various places, Blackpool.
Where?
Blackpool. That was a long time ago. 2 years. He doesn't tell me his business.
This is the first time he's threatened your life?
I've been a good wife to him all these years.
Would you answer my question, please, Mrs. Brown?
Well, he said things in the heat of the moment. Not threatened me, but he said he wished he was well rid of me.
And this time?
He meant it. I could tell from his face that he meant it. I could tell by the way he shouted. And he laid hands on me, too.
Your eye?
Yes.
What was the occasion for this?
I don't ask Stanley for money very often. But this time I knew he had some money. He'd been drinking when he came back from Highgate.
Highgate, you say?
Yes. When I asked him if I could let me have £2 for a new dress and coat, he flew into a rage. He'd been drinking, I said. And he flew at me and broke my glasses and threatened my life.
Just what did he say to you, Mrs. Brown?
He said he'd take me and drown me.
Police stations throughout England were advised that Scotland Yard wanted J. Stanley Brown, not merely for questioning, as we would have had to say before his poor shabby wife made her complaint. Now he was wanted for a violation of the Summary Justice Act of 1879, threatening a breach of the King's peace, which is felony. The questioning would come later. Henry Bernard, the pathologist, had left Blackpool and gone to Highgate for the post-mortem on the second bride. I came to the mortuary at his request.
This is my assistant, Miss Littlejohn, Inspector Rockhead.
How do you do, Miss
Nice
Littlejohn?
to know you, sir.
Thank you very much.
I found out something, Inspector. Come over here, please. Dead bodies don't bother you, I hope.
Oh, no.
I've brought the last Mrs. Stanley, he called himself at Highgate, didn't he?
Stanley, yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's nothing at all I could discover on the one at Blackpool. But this one is much more recent, you see. Little more than a week.
Yes. She must have been quite good-looking.
Puzzles me why girls like this will marry such rascals. I understand he's hideous.
So we hear. Well, what did you find to show me?
Well, I'll get to it in a second. First, though, the bride at Blackpool. She didn't have any epilepsy.
I thought you said you couldn't be sure.
I can be sure of one thing. Look, I've had a bathtub brought in here.
Where? Oh, there. Well, what's
now,
that?
Be patient, be patient. This is exactly the same type of bathtub in which the woman at Blackpool was drowned. And by another of those coincidences you're so fond of, also the same as the one at Highgate. I've seen them both. Now I'm going to show you something. Miss Littlejohn.
Yes, sir. Oh, I hope that water isn't cold.
You've had it filled?
Of course. Now, Miss Littlejohn, if you'll take off your clothes.
It's all right, Inspector. I've got a bathing suit under my smock. Oh, no, you didn't think...
Take off your shoes, Miss Littlejohn.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Now get in the tub.
I feel most awfully silly.
You'd feel sillier without your bathing suit. Get in, please.
Yes, sir. Oh, I thought you said this was warm.
Sit down.
Oh.
Now, the first reaction in an epileptic seizure is a sudden stiffening of the muscles, especially of the legs. Miss Littlejohn will now stretch out her legs sharply. Observe. If you please, Miss Littlejohn.
You not this?
Uh-huh.
There we are.
Well, nothing happened.
Of course. An epileptic would merely prop herself against the foot of the tub, her back resting against the slanted end, and her head out of the water, like Miss Littlejohn. She's wedged in there. But if her legs were relaxed... Show her, Miss Littlejohn.
Here you are. Like that.
Now, I'll show you something else. Step round here to the end of the tub.
Now, be careful now.
Take off your coat. Doesn't matter if your shirt sleeves get wet.
What are you going to do?
You're going to do it. Reach down in the water.
Now, do be careful.
Take hold of Miss Littlejohn's ankles.
Well,
Go on.
Excuse me, Miss Littlejohn.
Oh, now, do be careful now.
Lift her feet out of the tub. Hold her feet up. Hold them up. Hold them up.
But her head is underwater, man.
Of course, old chap, she's drowning. That's the way the young lady over there on the table was murdered. Oh, I say, drop her feet. She is drowning.
I would not recommend that you try that trick with a friend. It took artificial respiration to revive Miss Littlejohn. And when Bernard showed me marks on the ankles of the drowned bride, marks that fingernails would have just fitted into, well, we measured the tiny scars and photographed them for comparison with the fingers of Stanley Brown, should we ever catch him. It was almost exactly 7 weeks later. I had a telephone call from Mrs. James Stanley Brown, the living one. "Please come to my flat at once," she said. "It's of the highest importance." I went there. Mrs. Brown was quite excited.
I'm so glad you've come, Inspector.
What's happened, Mrs. Brown?
Oh, Inspector, I want to withdraw the charge against my husband. Please say I can withdraw it.
Mrs. Brown,
Please say I may. Oh, please.
I'm afraid I'll have to know more about this, Mrs. Brown, before I can answer
Oh,
that.
it's quite simple. We've made up again.
You've what?
Oh, I know, but, we've decided it was so awfully silly for us to be quarreling, and he's promised.
You've seen your husband?
Yes, he came back to me. Oh, we've had such a long talk. We're going to start over again, and...
Whose idea was this?
Why, his, of course. And now I want to cancel a silly charge I laid against him.
It wasn't a silly charge, Mrs. Brown.
So ashamed of myself. I simply must have you drop these charges. They're only a formality anyhow. Oh, we're going to be so happy. Already he's begun to treat me just like a bride, Inspector.
Where is he now, Mrs. Brown?
The dear, great boy.
Where is he, please?
You won't believe it, but he's upstairs right this minute, preparing me an heavenly bath, just like a bride.
She wept bitterly when I arrested him in the bathroom alongside the inviting full tub, stinking of cheap bath salts for this pathetic last bath. Despite the things he'd done to Marigold Brown, her dreams died hard. But they died when she heard the story of the other brides who had had their baths. Henry Bernard proved the points he'd made to me and Miss Littlejohn. In the face of it all, Stanley Brown confessed. On that day, Marigold Brown stopped weeping and believing in this black-hearted man. He was found guilty, of course, and sentenced to death. He was guilty of the death of 3 women. On the day he was hanged at Wandsworth, Marigold Brown committed suicide. I think there's some good advice in what Superintendent John Davidson told me.
Give the wicked something to flee from. Sometimes they'll flee right into your arms.
You have heard another in the series Whitehall 1212. Research is from Percy Hoskins of the London Daily Express. Among those heard in today's story of Scotland Yard case number 50MR242 were Harvey Hayes, Winston Ross, Horace Braham, Lester Fletcher, Patricia Courtley, and Beulah Garrick. The stories for radio are written and directed by Willis Cooper.
Whitehall 1212.
This is Scotland Yard.
For the first time in history, Scotland Yard opens its official files to bring you the authentic, true stories of some of its most baffling cases.
These are the true stories, the plain, unvarnished facts, just as they occurred, reenacted for you by an all-British cast. Only the names of the participants have, for obvious reasons, been changed. The stories are presented with the full cooperation of Scotland Yard.
Research on Whitehall 1212 comes from Percy Hoskins, chief crime reporter of the London Daily Express. The stories for radio are written and directed by Willis Cooper. Here is the man in charge of Scotland Yard's famous Black Museum, Chief Superintendent John Davidson, to brief you on case number 504MR701.
Good afternoon. All the exhibits I have charge of here at the Black Museum are not in themselves horrible or gruesome. I admit that several of the exhibits in this case, number 504701, are so dreadful that we reserve them for the use and study of our own people exclusively. Policemen are notoriously a strong-stomached lot. But this one that I brought with me is not such a one. Look at it. It's a woman's earring. The pair couldn't have cost a great deal. Handmade, I think, by some village jeweler in France many years ago. Can you make out the design? Crudely carved representation of a left hand holding a heart and what seems to be a flower. The other one of the pair was similar, I'm told, by those who've seen it, except that it was a right hand. This is the only one left of the pair. Retired Chief Superintendent Cedric Pickard is a little older today than he was then. Hey, Cedric?
I was a brand new inspector then, John.
You still remember all the details of this case, though.
For 35 years, I've been trying to forget them, John. On the 31st of October, 1917, the Zeppelins raided London for the next to last time. About 8 o'clock on the morning of November the 2nd, some 32 hours after the air raid, I received a call from E Division of the Metropolitan Police in Bow Street. I hastened there at once. They had 4 things to show me. 1, a badly bloodstained sheet. 2, a large jute bag labeled Argentine La Plata Cold Storage. 3, a stout cord which had been tied round the bag. 4, torn bit of pasteboard on which was scrawled in pencil the words Bloody Belgium. Most curiously misspelled. There was a civilian there, too, a squatty man with a cast in his left eye, wearing a remarkably dirty cap. He stood up when I looked at him.
I'm Sammy Elwood, sir. I found it. Them things, I mean.
Oh, did you then?
Roadman, I am, sir. I work at Regent Square in Bloomsbury.
Where'd you find this?
In the central garden in the square, sir, behind the railing. I seen it when I first come to work this morning, sir, but I went and had my breakfast first, sir. Good thing I did, too, and then I untied the bag when I come back. I run for a policeman right away, sir.
Why'd you run for police?
The bag, sir. There was a lady in it.
The lady, rather the remains of the lady, for she was lacking a head and hands, had been taken to the mortuary. Sam the roadman obviously knew nothing about it except what he discovered when he untied the bag marked cold storage. He went back to work, a faint green tinge still underlying the grime on his face and hands. I examined the evidence. The pasteboard on which was written Bloody Belgium, I hazarded, might indicate that someone who disliked Bloody Belgians had caused the death of this one. The bag, I decided, should go to the laboratory for examination. I looked for laundry marks on the bloodstained sheet. There was one down in one corner. I telephoned it in to the Criminal Records Office and started for my office at New Scotland Yard. The telephone was ringing as I came in. Yes? Inspector Pickard here.
Sergeant Toland here, sir. We found out about that laundry mark, sir, the one you phoned in.
Good.
It belongs to a Mademoiselle Albertine de Rocher.
Belgian?
Don't know, sir. Address 50 Munster Square. That's over east of Regent's Park, sir.
That's very good, Sergeant. I'll run over there at once. Care to come along with me?
Why, if I can get permission to leave here, sir.
Get your hat. I'll take care of that. Accompanied by Sergeant Monty Toland, he was a much better man on the case than on a CRO telephone, and they knew it. I proceeded to Munster Square, and we were admitted to Mademoiselle de Rocher's 2-room flat by the landlady, an old Frenchwoman with a moustache.
Bed's all torn up.
Oh. Sheet seems to be missing.
No sheet here.
Look under the bed.
1, 2, 3 pairs of shoes.
No sheets under here. What are you looking at, sir?
Is that blood? There on the pillow.
Looks like it. And here, sir, on the blanket.
A lot of it. I wonder.
Sir, there's somebody at the door.
Landlady.
I can speak a sort of French, sir. Alors, madame, entrez.
Alors?
Come on in, the keyhole's drafty.
Pardon?
Come in.
Ask her if she knows where Mademoiselle de Rocher is.
Mademoiselle de Rocher...
She is gone.
She speaks English.
Oh, oui.
Where's she gone to?
Je comprends pas.
Où est-elle?
Oh, she is gone since samedi.
Saturday.
Oui, she go for to see her sister in Nottingham.
Nottingham.
Oui, oui, Nottingham.
What's her sister's name?
Ça, je comprends pas.
Comment elle s'appelle la sœur?
Je sais pas.
She doesn't know, sir.
She go away to hide in the abri when the Boche come in the air raid. Underground, in the tubes, vous savez? Elle ne revient pas. Nottingham. Tu compris?
What time does she leave?
À quelle heure tu partis?
Presque minuit.
Near midnight.
Samedi.
Saturday, yes.
She didn't come back, huh?
No. Nottingham.
Nottingham.
Oui.
Ask her who might know her sister's name in Nottingham.
Madame...
Il le sait. Cet homme-là, là-bas.
What man, madame?
The man in the picture there?
Oui. Ça, c'est Langlois, son bon ami. Langlois, il sait.
It's Langlois, her sweetheart. He might know, she says.
Where is he?
Je sais pas. Chez lui.
Where is his home?
Hein? Oh, Charlotte Street, numéro 101. 101. Langlois, Étienne Pierre, Petite Boucherie. Rue Charlotte, numéro 101.
What'd she say?
She says his name's Langlois and he lives at 101 Charlotte Street.
I know that. What else did she say?
She says he has a small butcher shop there.
The butcher Langlois was not there in his combination living quarters and shop in the basement of 101 Charlotte Street when Toland and I arrived. The heavy door was strongly barred and locked. Toland spoke to an attractive Frenchwoman who seemed to be the charwoman. At least she was armed with broom and pail, obviously recently used.
Pardon, mademoiselle. Monsieur Langlois est-il ici?
Non, monsieur, il est en train de livrer ses viandes. Je ne sais pas quand il sera de retour.
Oh.
Non, vous ne pouvez pas entrer. J'ai tout enfermé quand j'ai fini de nettoyer. Quelle saleté. C'est que Langlois a égorgé un veau samedi soir. Oh, le sang était tout partout. À présent, il fait ses ventes. Je regrette, mais je ne sais pas quand il sera de retour.
What'd she say?
She says he's gone.
Oui, monsieur.
Who's she?
Je suis Françoise Grimard.
Mademoiselle Françoise Grimard.
C'est moi la fiancée d'Étienne Langlois.
What'd she say?
She's the sweetheart of Langlois, she says.
How many sweethearts has this fellow got?
Oh, I don't think we'd better ask her that, sir.
Mais qu'est-ce que vous dites, voyons?
What'd she say?
She wants to know what we're talking about.
Madam.
Mademoiselle.
You tell her, Toland.
Dommage que je l'ai raté. Je vous remercie, mademoiselle. Come on, sir. Au revoir, mademoiselle.
À la bonne heure, messieurs.
Goodbye, madam.
Mademoiselle.
Oh, right. Wonder how much she knows about this affair. Said she was Langlois' sweetheart, didn't she?
That isn't all she said, sir.
I gathered that.
Said Langlois had butchered a calf in there Saturday night.
She did?
That's why she had to clean up the place.
I hope she didn't clean it up too well.
Why, sir?
I'd like a sample of that blood.
I don't understand you, sir.
I want to see if it's really animal blood, my boy. I posted 2 detectives at the Charlotte Street location to keep a close but inconspicuous watch on the home butcher shop of Etienne Pierre Langlois to report the butcher's return. Toland and I went back to the Munster Square address where Albertine de Rocher had lived. The mustached landlady assured her she knew nothing more of the affairs of Mademoiselle de Rocher. She did, however, add that
Monsieur Langlois had put in an appearance there after the DeRocher woman had left. Ask her when, Tolan, I said.
Quel jour, madame?
Dimanche.
Sunday.
What did he want, madame?
He had food for the cat. Mademoiselle DeRocher asked him to do so.
Was he alone?
Huh?
Était-il seul?
Oui.
How long was he here?
15 minutes, peut-être.
15 minutes.
I know. He fed the cat?
Comment?
The cat. Cat. Did he feed the cat? Eat.
No.
Why? That's what he was here for, wasn't it?
Le chat est perdu.
The cat's what?
Perdu. He is run away.
Well, what did he do with the cat food?
Oh, he take it away with him.
Why didn't he leave it here?
Je ne sais pas.
Was he here alone in this room all that time?
Oui.
Did he take anything from here when he left?
The food for the cat.
That all?
Je ne sais pas. I don't know.
You sure?
Monsieur, if he takes something from this flat, it is hers, not mine. Comprenez? I don't know. Aussi, he is her sweetheart, you say, n'est-ce pas? It is all right if he takes something. I don't know. Not my business.
A sheet seems to be missing from the bed.
I don't know. Je ne sais pas absolument.
I see. Well, that's that.
Seems to be, sir.
Well, thank you, madam, and goodbye.
Goodbye, monsieur.
Oh, I knew there was something else I wanted to ask you.
Oui, monsieur.
Do you know a woman named, what's her name, Tolan?
Who, sir?
The woman who told us about Langlois.
Oh, Françoise Grimard.
Ah. Know her?
No, I have never heard of her.
Nowhere in all London is the art of thrusting one's nose into other people's business at lower ebb than in Soho, with its enormous foreign population. Our uncooperative landlady was a conspicuous practitioner of the ancient injunction, live and let live. As Tolan and I approached 101 Charlotte Street, half a mile away, Detective Sergeant John Mullins, one of the men I'd posted to watch the Langlois establishment, called to me.
Hey, Inspector.
Where's that? Oh, it's you, Mullins.
Yes, sir. Been looking for you, sir. You went to your office at the yard and I...
What's up?
He's come back, sir.
Langlois?
Must be him, sir. He looks like a bloody butcher. He came up and unlocked the door of the place and went inside.
He's still there?
Must be. We haven't seen him come out.
Good.
The woman came up and knocked at the door, sir, about 10 minutes ago and was admitted by him.
Young?
Well, not so young, Sergeant, but very handsome, I'd say.
What'd she say?
We couldn't hear, sir, but she's there now. At least she hasn't come out either.
She's telling him all about the two policemen who were asking questions about him this morning. I'll take my oath.
He was there. So was Mademoiselle Françoise Grimard. They had been sharing a bottle of villainous-looking vin rouge. The kind the French soldiers call...
Pinard.
Pinard, that's right. It is said to dissolve the teeth of taken in quantity by an amateur. Neither Langlois nor Mademoiselle Grimard were amateurs, apparently. They looked at us a trifle owlishly, however. We gratefully declined a drink. Langlois swilled Pinard.
What do you want, policeman?
Prends garde, Etienne.
What'd she say?
Be careful what you say, sir.
What?
That's what she said, sir.
Oh.
What do you want?
We'd like to ask you a few questions, Monsieur Langlois.
Ask them. I do not guarantee to answer.
Qu'est-ce que tu dis, Etienne?
Je dis que je ne promets rien.
Mademoiselle Grimard told us that she'd cleaned your place out.
Well, he did not clean it well enough, I'm afraid.
Oh, fiche-moi le camp.
It's so dirty, Françoise.
Si au moins tu faisais plus attention quand tu égorges tes bêtes.
What did she say?
She says I should be more careful when I butcher.
C'est vrai, Françoise.
You do your butchering in here?
Sometimes, monsieur.
Mais écoute.
Tais-toi, Françoise.
This blood on the walls here, on the floor. It's animal blood, then?
From the calf I slaughtered.
Would you mind if I take a small sample of it?
Qu'est-ce qu'il dit?
Il veut du sang.
Pourquoi pas?
Yeah, why not, monsieur? You will find it is calf's blood. N'est-ce pas, Françoise?
Bien sûr.
Oh, monsieur, take what you like.
If you please, Dolan.
Yes, sir.
Just scrape some of those stains. Here, take this envelope.
Yes, sir.
Label it. Thank you. Now, if you'll open the door and hand it to Mullins, ask him to hurry it back. You don't mind, Monsieur Langlois?
I don't mind.
Yes, sir.
He's to take it to Sidney Belloc in the laboratory and have him tested at once to see if it is animal blood.
It is, monsieur.
And rush me a report here at once. I'll wait.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Monsieur Langlois.
Is that all you wish, monsieur?
I should like to ask another question or two, if I may.
Hello, monsieur?
Prends garde, Etienne.
Let me alone. Monsieur.
Now, you are not required to answer this question, Monsieur Langlois.
I know that. Ask it.
You, knew Mademoiselle Albertine de Rocher, did you
Albertine du
not?
Rocher, la vache, cette salope.
Françoise.
Oh, Albertine du Rocher, alors oui, la connaissez, moi aussi.
Petit de terre.
Elle qui voulait m'enlever Étienne, cette cochonne de la rue.
Tu chiffres, Françoise.
Oh, elle ne reviendra plus ici, celle-là.
Enfin, tais-toi.
Oh, essaye. Elle reviendra plus jamais
Enfin,
ici.
tais-toi. Ferme ta gueule.
Eh oui, il la connaissait. Moi aussi.
Tais-toi, Françoise.
Elle nous tracassera plus jamais, celle-là.
I take it the lady did know her.
She certainly did, sir.
What did she say?
Well,
Albertine du Rocher.
Now, excuse me, monsieur. I think it is better you go from here.
Monsieur Langlois, I have several more questions I would
I'm
like.
sorry, monsieur. I will not answer them.
Well, you don't have to, of course.
I am sure that you will see that the matter of Mademoiselle Albertine du Rocher is a very painful one for Mademoiselle Guillemard and myself. François.
Oh, alors.
Alors, tais-toi, François.
Oh, Albertine du Rocher.
No, monsieur. I have answered enough. I know the British law, too, monsieur. You may not enter my dwelling without a warrant if I wish you not to. Nor must I answer questions unless I so choose. You have no warrant. I choose not to answer any more of your questions. I ask you to go away from my house.
Aha.
The door, monsieur.
Oh, attends, espèce de crétin.
A thwarted policeman is a sorry sight. We shambled down Charlotte Street in the general direction of Scotland Yard, and the small measure of self-respect we'd attained in our retreat to its sheltering walls was quickly stripped from us by Sergeant Mullins, who met us on the stairway to my office.
I was just starting out to find you, sir.
Yes, Sergeant?
That sample of blood you sent me back with, sir.
Yes?
Laboratory says it's animal blood, sir, not human at all.
Toland and I went home. But a night of even troubled sleep helps. I found obtaining a search warrant not too difficult, and armed with it, Toland, Mullins, and I returned to Charlotte Street. Langlois greeted us with a tolerant smile, I think you'd call it, if you were a novelist.
It was the blood of an animal, was it not, Inspector?
Yes, it was, Monsieur Langlois.
Oh, you see. I did not lie to you, n'est-ce pas?
I have brought a search warrant. Is there any other room or building on these premises which you use for slaughtering? May as well tell me. We shall find it anyway.
There is a small shed.
Out this door, monsieur.
But I have not used it for many months.
Out this door, monsieur.
Wait. Go ahead, Mullins. You know what you're looking for.
Right, sir.
Is there a basement here?
It is used for storage.
We'll have a look at it later. Toland.
Yes, sir.
Have a good look round the other rooms first, Toland.
Yes, sir.
Monsieur, I assure you...
Oh, on the second floor, Toland. Just run round to Munster Square, will you?
Is that not where the Mademoiselle de Rocher lives,
Just
monsieur?
run round there, will you, and see what Tom Bennett's found out.
Yes, sir.
If his report isn't ready, wait for it. And come back here at once.
Right, sir.
May I ask,
There's a pathologist over there with some portable laboratory equipment, monsieur.
Mais je ne comprends pas.
He's over there looking at some bloodstains. Now, if you don't mind, I'll start in this room. Is this an abattoir too, monsieur?
It is my kitchen.
It was a most dingy kitchen. A most filthy kitchen. I inspected it carefully. Greasy saucepans, well-scrubbed butcher's knives, moldy pails of rubbish, stinking half-empty tins of decayed food, and under the ancient sink, a pile of stained linen. The third item I picked up was a blood-stained towel. Animal blood, too, I asked Langlois. He didn't reply. And then something fell out of the folds of the towel onto the floor. I picked it up. What's this, I asked.
It is an earring. It belongs to Françoise, to Mademoiselle Grimard.
An earring, I said, and dropped it into my pocket. Just ask her about that.
I will give it to her, monsieur.
Thank you. I'll just ask her to identify it when she comes in. Where is she, by the way?
Oh, she... I don't know.
We'll find her. Did you say this is animal blood on this towel, monsieur?
From the calf which I slaughtered.
Dear me, how did an earring ever get in here?
She lost it.
Saturday night? Whilst you were slaughtering the animal?
Monsieur.
Who's that?
Me, sir. Sergeant Mullins.
Oh, come in, Mullins. Did you find anything?
These bags, sir.
Jute bags. What's it say on them? You read it, Langlois.
Argentine, La Plata, cold storage. I have dozens of them.
Curious. The same kind of sack the body was in. Well, let's keep them, Mullins. Now, who's that?
Oh, here you are, sir. Bennett says the stains are animal blood, sir. He's certain.
I wonder how animal blood got in Mademoiselle de Roche's room. I wonder.
Monsieur, I must speak to you.
Eh? Very well. Tolan, you and Mullins go down to the cellar and see what you can find. Got a torch?
Yes, sir.
Well on. Now, monsieur.
Wait, monsieur. There's nothing down there.
Get along.
Monsieur, I confess.
Go on.
I did not kill her.
Oh?
I went to feed the cat. I found her dead in her room. She had been attacked. Oh, blood.
I'm reliably informed that is animal blood, monsieur.
I was frightened. The concierge, the landlady, she knew I was there. I might be accused of murder.
It is possible.
I brought the body back here. That blood out there in the kitchen, that is human blood, her blood. I put her in the sack, but I did not kill her. I did not, I tell you. And in the night, I got my horse and trap, and I drove to Eden Square with the body, and...
What did you do with the hand and the head?
We found the head, sir.
Oh, no!
It's in a cask downstairs, sir, with a hand. Can't identify it, sir, but there's an earring in one ear. The other's been torn out. If we can find it...
Who's that now? Come in. Good morning, Mademoiselle Grimard.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe ici? Et vous? On vous a mis à la porte hier. Et tiens, réponds si veux-tu.
Mademoiselle, do you recognize this earring?
Oh, c'est à elle. C'est celui qui s'est accroché au torchon.
What'd she say?
She says it's the one that got caught in the towel, sir. Why, it's the same as the one down in the cellar, sir.
On l'a trouvé. Ils ont découvert sa tête.
She says they found it. They found the head.
Albertine. Oh, c'est lui qui l'a tué. Arrêtez-le.
Assassin, she is the one. No, she murdered Albertine. My love, mon amour, my best.
Stop. Dolan. So she'll understand it.
Huh?
Etienne Langlois, I arrest you on a charge of willful murder.
François Grimard.
I arrest you for the willful murder of Albertine de Rocha. I warn you that anything you say will be taken down in writing and may be used in evidence. Come along, both of you. At the trial at Old Bailey, it was proved that Albertine de Rocha, instead of going to the air raid shelter when the alarm was given, had instead gone to the home of her lover, Langlois, who was entertaining Francoise Grimard. A quarrel ensued, and the de Rocha woman was struck on the head and killed. We found the murder weapon, a cleaver owned by Langlois. The only fingerprints on it were those of Francoise Grimard. Langlois had gone to the dead woman's flat in Munster Square the next night with a container of animal blood in an attempt to make good his hastily conceived story. Then, realizing he must do better than that, he resorted to the practice of his profession. His handwriting matched the bloody Belgium written on the pasteboard with the body. It was a joke, he said, to foil people. It didn't. Etienne Langlois and Françoise Grimard were hanged at Wandsworth Prison in May 1918.
You have heard another in the series Whitehall 1212, compiled from the official files of Scotland Yard. Research is from Percy Hoskins of the London Daily Express. Among those heard in this reenactment of a celebrated case were Horace Brame, Harvey Hayes, Lester Fletcher, Evan Thomas, John Dirth, Patricia Courtley, and Elizabeth Eustace. The stories for radio on Whitehall 1212 are written and directed by Willis Cooper.
Whitehall 1212.
This is Scotland Yard.
For the first time in history, Scotland Yard opens its official files to bring you the authentic stories of some of its most celebrated cases.
These are the true stories, the unvarnished facts just as they occurred, reenacted for you by an all-British cast. Only the names of the participants have for obvious reasons been changed. The stories are presented with the full cooperation of Scotland Yard.
Research on Whitehall 1212 is prepared by Percy Hoskins, chief crime reporter for the London Daily Express. The stories for radio are written and directed by Willis Cooper. This is the story of Scotland Yard file number 140MR519. And here to brief you is Chief Superintendent John Davidson.
Good afternoon. This is the famous Black Museum of Scotland Yard. These two rooms on the lower ground floor of the main building are the repository of, shall I say, mementos of some of our most famous cases, both solved and unsolved. We keep here, as exemplars of the practical art of murder and other crimes, a great many weapons, a not inconsiderable stock of disguises, a large number of miscellaneous objects, more or less directly concerned with the commission of specific crimes. Death marks of a few notable criminals, such as the late Heinrich Himmler, and a great many bullets, some of them with the stain of death still discernible, and more than a few genuinely gruesome objects, portions of human skeletons, things in alcohol-filled glass jars. Every object in here has an unhappy association. And most of them have aided us in solving other puzzling crimes. For the criminal mind is curiously imitative. Now, this case, number 140MR519, happened 30 years ago. You may have heard about it. It created a great sensation in the United States. Now, here is the one item that remains. A knife. It was once very sharp, but the blood has rusted the blade. Oh, good afternoon, David.
Good afternoon, sir.
Now, this is the man who knows more about case 140MR519 than anyone else at the yard. May I introduce Chief Inspector David Apries of the CID?
There was another man who knew a great deal about this case, sir, but he's not with us anymore.
Who was that, David?
The hangman, sir. Mrs. Hildegard Amory was one of the most fascinating women I've ever known. Her husband, Peter James Athelstone Amory, was 32 years old, but everyone who knew the couple thought he was at least 10 years older than his wife. Although in point of fact, he was only 4 years her senior. From what we know of him, he was dull, moody, and not a very good husband. Except that in the accepted sense of the word, he was faithful to her. It's a pity that he had no other recorded virtues. On the night of the 3rd of October, 1922, he was murdered. This is all I had from Detective Sergeant Max Fisher of the Ilford Police Station, who reported it to me.
Kensington Gardens, Ilford, sir. 10 minutes before 12 midnight, sir, last night. Stabbed to death by a person or persons unknown, sir. Mr. John Thomason and Miss Elizabeth Poole of 7B Oxford Crescent, Ilford, met Mrs. Amory as she was running down the street screaming. A doctor was fetched who pronounced the man dead.
Go on, please, Sergeant.
Mrs. Amory remarked to Police Constable Douglas Gregg that she supposed that she would probably be blamed for the husband's death. She'll be at the Ilford Police Station, sir, this morning.
I proceeded first to the mortuary on Horse Ferry Road to view the body. He had been stabbed untidily 3 times in the neck. The man at the mortuary said one slash had severed the carotid artery, causing death. No weapon, Sergeant Fisher said, had been found. I went to Ilford for a talk with Mrs. Amory.
She's in there, Sergeant.
Oh, thank you. Shall I go in with you, Chief Inspector?
I wish you would, yes, please.
Yes, Sergeant Fisher.
I have Chief Inspector Apries of Scotland Yard with me, Jones. May we come in?
Mrs. Amory?
Let them come in.
Thank you. We'll be all right, Jones.
Yes, Sergeant.
Come in, sir. Mrs. Amory, this is Chief Inspector Apries.
I don't know what more I can tell you, Chief Inspector.
I'm sorry to be under the necessity of asking you any further questions, Mrs. Amory, but you understand.
Yes, of course.
If we might sit down.
Oh, please do.
You did not see the assailant, you said?
No. Peter had gone...
Your husband?
Yes. My husband had gone ahead of me a few steps to unlock the door. All I remember was a kind of black shadow rising up beside the steps, hearing Peter cry out.
The other man said nothing?
Nothing at all. He just turned and ran away down the street.
And you?
I'm afraid I was so frozen I didn't do anything for a second. Peter was coughing and crying out. And I think I screamed and ran away.
Uh-huh. You didn't touch your husband?
I put my hand out to him and the blood... I was so... I don't know. I think I ran for help. I know I was screaming. Those people heard me and called out, and I...
You thought your husband was dead?
I knew he was hurt badly.
You didn't tell us before about seeing the man who attacked your husband, Mrs. Amory.
Oh, I thought I did.
No, you didn't, Mrs. Amory.
Sorry.
I'm going to ask you a question, Mrs. Amory, which you need not answer.
I'm sure I have nothing to conceal from you, Chief Inspector.
Of course. Why did you remark that they will blame me for this? Or words to that effect?
Did I say that?
In Constable Gregg's report, madam.
Oh, I don't remember saying that.
Why should you say such a thing?
Why, if I said it... If I said it, then I would have to I was very much agitated, you must understand. Of course, I suppose I must have been thinking that no one else had seen the...
Murderer, ma'am?
Yes. The...
Sergeant Fisher.
Yes? I'll be back at once, Chief Inspector.
Right. Had your husband any enemies that you know of, Mrs. Emery?
I've been trying to think.
Can you think of any other motive?
Robbery, perhaps?
Oh, I should think that a robber would have run away without attempting to attack.
I don't know.
Could I ask you to tell me in your own words exactly what happened, as near as you can remember?
Peter and I had gone to the Criterion, and we were in rather a gay mood when we came home. Peter said to me, I'll run ahead and unlock...
That is a very dark street.
Well, usually it's quite bright. But last night, the street lamps... Something apparently had happened to them.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, that other couple saw him.
Saw who?
The murderer.
Oh, no.
Oh, good.
Saw him quite plainly, they said.
Did they recognize him? I mean, they're not going to be able to identify him, are they?
Catch her, Fisher. She's going to faint. Verbum sat sapienti. If I remember my schoolboy Latin, a word to the wise is sufficient. I'm not at all certain of the degree of wisdom, if any, that I possess, but we had the word right enough. Recognize. Why should they recognize the man? Had Mrs. Amory recognized him? Why should she be so concerned about his being recognized? She returned to her home. Fisher and I quietly began asking questions of the people who knew her.
Our next-door neighbor answered me.
Oh, it's a dreadful thing, sir. And the poor woman's fair out of her mind.
How long have you known the Amerys, sir?
6 months.
Uh-huh. Had she any friends, other than her husband, could you say?
Well, sir, the parson, I should say. Mrs. O'Malley, who keeps the pastry shop. And, well, I liked her very much. I'm the dustman, sir. I saw her almost every day on my rounds.
What about her husband?
I say nothing but good of the dead, sir. Although my private opinion is it served him bloody well right.
Why?
Well, sir, many's the night I've heard him shouting at the lady something terrible, sir.
What about?
I never listened to details, sir. I have a great admiration for the poor thing. She's very attractive, sir.
Do you know anyone else who is of the same opinion?
Everybody, sir, except him. All the rest is nasty soul.
Inquiry of the parson brought more praises of little Mrs. Amory. A most attractive, lively, pleasant young housewife were the exact words.
I talked to her employers, a firm of wholesale milliners in Aldersgate Street.
I've known Mrs. Amory for a great many years, sir. She's been in our employ since the 3rd year of the war.
Oh. Well, what are her duties with you?
She is chief bookkeeper and manageress, sir.
Do you know anything about her friends?
Everybody in this establishment can lay claim to that title, sir. She is universally beloved. We do not make inquiries into the private life of our people, sir.
Of course. But do you know any of her friends, apart from her colleagues in this office?
I have seen her lunching once or twice with a young man, whom I assumed to be a younger relative, sir. But I naturally made no inquiries.
Well, thank you very much, sir.
Quite welcome, I'm sure, sir.
I should like to ask you one more question, sir.
As you will.
Why do you think this young man is a relative?
I do not believe I am breaking a confidence. Mrs. Amory has several times received letters from him, posted at various points of call of the Peninsula and Orient Steamship Company. I have seen the envelopes.
Well, how does that prove that he's a relation of hers?
I have seen the name on the letters, sir.
Oh. You looked at the letters?
Inadvertently, sir.
And the name was?
Westlake. The same as Mrs. Amory's maiden name, sir. I happen to know.
Oh. Well, thank you very much indeed, sir. Good day. I didn't tell the male milliner that Mrs. Amory's maiden name had been nothing at all like Westlake. As a matter of fact, it was Balderston.
I saw the Mrs. O'Malley the dustman had spoken of within 2 hours after I learned the results of Chief Inspector Aparis's interview with the milliner.
Oh, yes, sir. I know Mrs. Amory very well indeed.
And her husband?
I knew him.
Sad affair.
I didn't like him, sir.
You know a man named Westlake, Mrs. O'Malley?
Of course.
You do?
He was a paying boarder for a few weeks at the Amory's.
How long ago?
Oh, about 18 months ago. He left and went to see Mrs. Amory said. I don't want you to get the idea, sir, that Mrs. Amory's the type who takes in boarders indiscriminately. She's a genuine lady, sir.
Of course.
Amory threw him out after a few weeks.
Oh? Why?
Some tosh about his being too thick with poor dear Mrs. Amory. Such tosh. Westlake's the brother of a girl who attended school with Mrs. Amory. What arrant nonsense. But Amory was a swine.
You know where this Westlake is now?
No one's heard of him from that day till this.
Not Mrs. Amory even?
This young man was merely the brother of a former schoolmate, I told you. Why should she know anything about his private affairs, indeed?
I agree with you, Mrs. O'Malley. Why, indeed?
That was the 4th day after Peter Amory's death. Sergeant Fisher and I struck what bookkeepers are fond of calling a trial balance. A, Peter Amory was stabbed to death.
With a knife?
Practically every sailor carries a sheath knife.
Westlake was a sailor.
He had been thrown out of the Amory home.
He was also accused by the husband of too great familiarity with the wife. That could be a motive.
Mrs. Amory was quite concerned about the possibility of the murderer having been recognized.
Perhaps she did recognize him.
Would she be shielding him?
Well, he's the younger brother of a schoolmate of hers.
Would she be shielding the murderer of her husband? Let's ask him.
Let's find him first. I had very little trouble finding William Westlake. A telephone call to the offices of the P&O Steamship Company found him for me. Yes, they said they had a steward of that name. 20 years old, they said. Had been with the P&O for about 18 months. Well, that corresponded with Mrs. O'Malley's recollection of the date of his departure from the Amory's house. What ship? The SS Murray, they said. Where was the Murray, please? It had docked at Tilbury on the 23rd of September after a voyage to the Mediterranean. Well, at least Westlake had been close at hand when Amory had been murdered 10 days later. The Murray was still at Tilbury. I paid the ship a visit there. A young sailor loitering at the gangway greeted me.
Where you going, mate?
Is this the Murray?
Unless they changed her name this morning. What do you want?
Looking for a man named Westlake.
What do you want him for?
I want to talk to him.
What about?
I'm afraid it's none of your business, mate.
Ain't it? My name's Westlake.
Oh, is it? William Westlake?
Right, what's yours?
My name's Fisher.
Never heard of you.
Detective Sergeant Fisher of the CID.
What do you want? Detective Sergeant Fisher of the CI-D.
Did you ever hear of a man named Peter Amory?
I didn't do anything to him.
I didn't ask you that, Westlake.
I might have known him.
Well, then you won't mind answering some questions, will you?
About him? Why?
He's dead.
Who killed him?
I don't know.
Well, what do I know about it?
That's what we want to find out, Westlake.
Well, ask me. Go ahead.
No, you'll have to come to Scotland Yard with me.
What if I won't?
Better.
What'll you do if I won't come?
Take you. Come along.
There's nobody looking. I could smash you on the head and drop you in the water.
See those constables down there on the pier head?
Where?
I shouldn't try while they're watching us.
Oh. Well, I suppose I'll have to come along with you. But you've got nothing on me.
Good enough. Get your sheath knife and come on.
What? I've got no sheath knife. I haven't had a sheath knife for ever so long, mister. I haven't got a sheath knife. I lost it. I lost it, I said.
Well, come along then. I'll try and find your knife for you.
I had invited Mrs. Hildegard Amory, the bereaved widow, to come to my office at New Scotland Yard from Ilford to consult about some new evidence that had been discovered, I said. She arrived at 11 o'clock, quite composed, with no outward signs of nervousness. I said she was one of the most fascinating women I've ever seen. Blue silk frock, a most fetching hat from the establishment that employed her. Hardly suitable for a recent widow, I remember thinking idly. Great purple blue eyes. A most charming smile as she greeted me.
You must tell me the news at once, Chief Inspector. What has happened?
A few facts that I think you should know, Mrs. Amory.
Have they identified the man they saw running away? The people who saw the man.
A little too anxious, Mrs. Amory, I thought. I said they had not identified anyone yet.
Do you think they can? Identify him, I mean.
Oh, I'm not at all certain that they can, Mrs. Amory. The street light was out, you know.
Oh, I do hope you find him.
Did I detect a suggestion? Just a suggestion of triumph in that? We'll see, I said.
I haven't the slightest idea who... It was so dark, though. I'm afraid he'll never be identified.
I wish you had seen him. We could hold an identification parade.
Your telephone, Chief Inspector.
Oh, it's ringing, isn't it? Chief Inspector Abrie's here.
I've got him, sir.
Oh.
Westlake, I mean, sir.
Oh, good, old man.
Is she there, sir?
Oh, quite.
Is your door open, sir?
Forget it, old boy.
I'll take care of it, sir.
Thank you, that will be excellent.
I'll bring him.
Thanks very much indeed, old boy. Goodbye. Oh, my dear Mrs. Amory, the light from the windows directly in your eyes. I'm so sorry. Please, take this other chair. It faces the other way.
Oh, it's quite all right, Chief Inspector.
Oh, I insist. Please sit here. It'll be much more comfortable.
Well, if you must be so thoughtful, Chief Inspector.
Please.
Thank you very much.
There. Now, you see, you're much more comfortable. The light's much better this way.
I think there's someone at your door, sir.
Oh, really? Who is that? Who is it?
The man you wanted to see, sir.
Here we go. William, what? They found you.
So you're the one that wanted to see me
No.
in Scotland Yard?
No.
You traitor! You traitor! You murderer!
No.
Take him away, Fisher.
No,
Come on, Wesley. I'll kill her, too.
Oh, God, what can I do?
Come on, Wesley.
Why did
She
you
made
do
me
it?
What?
I didn't want you to do it.
She made me, have you? You do it. She rocked me the...
I really think you owe us an explanation, Mrs. Amory. This is what she said.
I did not know William Westlake at all. When his sister asked me if he might come and stay with us, I remember him only as a small boy from Norwood, and I met him on a holiday with his sister. As a small boy, he was remarkably charming. When he came to live with us, he was still charming. One day, while my husband was away on a short business trip, William told me he was falling in love with me.
This is what he said.
Of course I was in love with her. In a kid's kind of a way. Old Amory caught us one afternoon kissing in the parlor. He kicked me out. It was an awful row. I said I'd get even. Well, he's dead now, and I'm still alive.
She said...
I had nothing to do with it. It was his own idea to murder Peter Amory.
And he said...
Ask her about those letters, Detective Sergeant.
I'm a detective. My job is to catch criminals, not to make pronouncements about the state of their minds. Neither is it my job to pass judgment upon anyone. Ask her about the letters, Westlake said to Sergeant Fisher. We did ask her.
The letters? I thought he destroyed them.
Westlake laughed when we told him what she had said.
Them letters'll hang her, Mr. Detective.
Westlake had been charged with murder and duly warned. The judge's rules in England are almost unbelievably strict regarding what may be said to a prisoner once he had been officially charged. But the boastful ones often say more than they intend to. Neither Fisher nor I made any comment.
You can't ever prove that I killed old Amory, gents. You know nobody saw him get killed. Why, even them people that said they saw me couldn't possibly identify me. Could they?
I'm sure I don't know, Wesley.
Oh, I know. They can't. Nobody can. and even if somebody could identify me, which they can't, they'll never hang me.
You've been warned, Westlake.
So I have, haven't I? Anything I might say might be used in evidence. But she thought I burned them letters, or tore them up or something. I didn't, gents. Now, what'll you do for me if I show you where them letters are? Huh?
Nothing.
We can promise you nothing, Westlake.
Don't you want to hang somebody?
Come on, Fisher.
But don't you want them? Don't you want them? Well, they'll hang her, I tell you. They'll hang her. Don't you want me to give you those letters? Come back. Come back, you. She put me up to it. I can prove she put me up to it, I tell you. She made me do it. She talked me into it. She's the guilty one. I just stabbed the man.
The filthy, filthy brute.
And she thought he was in love with her.
She knows better now. Come along.
Where are we going?
To find those letters. We found them in his locker on the Morea, wrapped in an old newspaper under a pile of dirty clothes. 56 of them. And under them a blood-stained sheath knife. The one that you saw in the Black Museum. The letters were incredible. She admitted in court at the trial that she had written them. Would you like to hear what she had written? Here are typical excerpts from the record of the trial.
You said it was enough for an elephant. Perhaps it was, but you don't allow for the taste, making only a small quantity to be taken. Now, your letter tells me about the bitter taste again. Oh, darling, I do feel so down and unhappy. Wouldn't the stuff make small pills coated together with soap and dipped in licorice powder like Beecham's? I'll try again while you're away.
And another.
I tried the broken glass 3 times, but the 3rd time he found a piece of it. So I've given it up till you come home.
Stop. In court at the trial, she was asked why she had written such dangerous letters to Westlake at various points of call. I can still hear her reply.
Nobody knows what kind of letters he was writing me. I destroyed them all. He did not destroy mine.
And she was asked, why did you incite this man to murder your husband? Her voice was very low when she replied.
He was the first man that ever loved me. I was afraid he might meet another woman on one of his voyages. He would love better than me. I could not lose him.
I'm no moralist, I'm a detective. But it is curious to know that among the effects left in their home at Ilford was a trashy novel by an English author, published some 10 years before the tragedy occurred, before Westlake had ever come to live there, while he was still a small boy and she a schoolgirl. Some of the passages in her letters are almost exact duplicates of passages in that book. I don't know. Hildegard Amory and William Westlake were found guilty of willful murder at Old Bailey in June 1923. I don't believe she even heard the verdict. Her mind was failing even then. Westlake went to the gallows bravely. She was carried to the execution shed completely unconscious by warders, and the trap was sprung without her ever regaining consciousness. The hangman is a sinister figure, but even he was sickened. It was the first time in English history that a hangman resigned his job. I don't know.
You have heard another in the series Whitehall 1212, compiled from the official files of Scotland Yard. Research is prepared by Percy Hoskins of the London Daily Express. The stories for radio written and directed by Willis Cooper.